Welcome everyone to the weekly broadcast of the American Reach Mahjong League. We always try to get these things in on Wednesday. This is Korak. I'm joined by Nathaniel.
Hey Korak, I survived the tornado scare of Monday, so we're here for the Wednesday broadcast.
All right, well, we're going to start off in B1 with Haru, Irie, Michael, and Gauhan. I expect kind of a very aggressive table, except for Gauhan, who's a little bit more Dama heavy. Of course, I'm disgusted by the idea. What do you think?
There's a time and a place for a Dama, and Galhan certainly has put it to good use in recent seasons.
Sitting here in B1, of course, Haru has been in A1 before, dropped to B1, and looks to be fighting back towards A2 after the first session at plus 72. And no one else is out of it or even really in that much danger here. Worst, the lowest one is Michael at minus 30.7, but that's still pretty clear of the demotion zone. And of course, we have 20 games left to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch Michael play in the B1 division. I believe he just promoted out of B2 last season. Started off with a two second places, a third and a fourth. That's not so bad. Minus 30 easily recoverable, as you said. Five
All
sessions
right,
go.
Haru's first dealer. Well, that's just Honitsu double East. Easy, Mongon. I'd just immediately call the West if it comes out for that matter. On the right, Binfutan passes the first West. Not too much. Shapes aren't great. Has two Dora though, so just looking for anything to connect. I'm gonna probably float those Yakuai a little more across the way. Pinfu hand just needs that 8 mon, and then it just looks like a very straightforward Richi Pinfu, maybe to Peiko and Sozu. And on the left we have similarly kind of a Tanyao, maybe a Chitoi, but most likely a regular Pinfu. Now you have 4 pairs. You definitely have to hedge towards the Chitoi Tanyao. And of course, if you draw a door in a shape like this, well, then maybe you cut the 5. But other than that, you just want to float everything and see what happens. And there's a door accepting shape, and the fishing proceeds. Haru goes in and cuts the 9 so, going for that Honitsu.
It was kind of
Big
interesting.
question, where's that West?
Right? The first West was passed, so not aggressively forcing the Pinsu Honitsu. Also, played it a little bit interesting with the early 9-so cut holding the South. So definitely thinking about Honitsu, and then gave up the South to hold the 9-so again, maybe playing for efficiency, but after drawing the 4-pin back on the Honitsu route. So it's his hand's taken a couple twists and turns, but we've ended up exactly where you thought it was going to.
All right, well, there on the right there for Irie, that definitely looks like a nice Tanya shift, drawing the 6 pin. Can now just call this down for Tanya Dora 2, most likely.
The 9-so is back, but not going to be a part of this hand. 7-so gone.
Interesting. I'd have taken that 7 so.
Ooh, force the Tonyo with the door 2.
Yeah, brute force. It really likes this 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6 shape. I'm looking for any excuse to just cut the 1 there since you have a 2, 4 block.
Yeah, it's
Does
not.
mean you'll need the Dora indicator, which is always the hardest top. But as we see, actually all 3 of them are in the wall.
Oh, keep it in mind, we actually have a Tenpai across the way, Michael, drawing the 2-so for Ipeco, but doesn't like this Kanchan weight, so declares, holds the Dama here.
Yeah, I guess we don't have winning tiles on. There we go. And there's the other problem: is if 2 are out, it's not that good. We see the pass on the possible con there for Haru, and ooh, that's a draw. Normal cut here is just the 5 pin. Could also potentially pick up Itsu here.
How to seize
And
it.
there it goes.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of potential value here. You would find the 6-pin, even 3-sided weight, double East Honitsu. You can slam that for the Hanuman Richi.
And Irie might get in some big trouble here if the 1 doesn't come out immediately, but it does. That's going to be Tenpai waiting on 6-9 pin for double East Honitsu, which certainly felt like the most likely way for the hand to develop.
Oh, and the 8 held by Gauhan.
Yeah, saves it now, though if Sawa dealer had would probably be more than willing to deal into an Ipeco alone.
Yeah, 1300. Definitely not bad at all. We're going to have the
This is
Tenpai.
a Furry 10 on the right, 147, but of course you have that 1 in your discards.
Oh,
There's the 8. We'll deal in. And that's one where you're a little disappointed, then you look at the log and go, oh, that was completely on purpose.
yeah, 12,000 points is definitely a lot scarier than this 1300.
Even
And
at your 4,000 sumo feels really bad there.
for sure. What? Two Onkos of
Well,
nines?
I mean, this is when you start dreaming of Sanchiku Doko or dare I say Chinroto, but it's actually Ishan 10.
If it wasn't Ishan 10, I mean, you can still hold the ones and nines that you draw and think about it a little bit, but with all
Well,
this
on the
Fu as
right,
well, it's not such a bad Reachy, huh?
Well, immediately slams. It says, you know what? Richinomi as dealer is good enough. Plus, you have a ton of foo here. He's waiting on the 3-6. You have double uncle of the 9s. What you're really hoping for is to con one of them, and that really boosts your potential value up.
Yeah,
We
nine
had
so held 9 pin in the wall.
the north has been called on the left, just trying to go a little fast here, and not really getting the option if dealer does this to you. Uh-oh, that's maybe a deal, and there it goes. That is Richinomi will be 50 foo. Any Uro would be a pretty big hand, but it is just 2,400. Irie will take it and jump out into first place.
Yeah, take two. This high pie not nearly as quick, but still pretty good.
Yeah,
Multiple
still
pairs.
reasonable here. Complete block, 2 pairs. Rion, Municipal Flows get rid of, but it's not that bad. You also have a Dora this time, which is always nice. I already see the South has been called. Has a few other pairs. Gonna float the Toy. Also has a Dora, though, so probably is call and go. Across the way, West has been called similarly. Potential upgrades to Toy, but they're a long way away. Probably just gonna look here, pick up the 1,300, move on. On the left, few pairs. Ugh. The 2-pin is an upgrade, but now it just makes you depressed. You look at the hand, you go, how do I make anything from this? And it's definitely the weakest of the 4 on the table.
Dealer progressing nicely, though. Too many pairs. We'll see how ID handles these.
Well, Haru gets an Ipeco fill there, so that'll give you a lot of options and even potential Chitoy shift.
That 9
Shunton on the right for Michael goes ahead and locks in the Penchon.
It's interesting that 9 pin draw was Chitoi Ishanten, but rejected with these shapes. Probably going to end up on a Shabo for dealer. But
Well,
that,
speaking of Tempai, we have one on the right waiting on that 7-mon. It will just be South Dora.
and it feels like the 7-mon going to come out eventually from this hand. You have to
Yeah, it
break
just
away
has
from one
too
of these
many pairs.
pairs.
The only way I might see it not coming out is if you get the 8 draw, and then you just go Chitoy, but sells out on it, and now it's just Suji. I expect the 7 to come out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, maybe one benefit to holding the 7-mon here is that a couple of the 8s have come out. Might want to hold that 7-mon longer for support, but that 5 is drawn in. That's just going
Oh,
to...
that's it. There it goes.
Not a terribly expensive hand, just 2,000 points plus the Homba.
But enough to take over first, and we'll be dealer here in East 3. All right, Michael, potential Itsu in Manzu has the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. So shapes aren't great inside Manzu, but lots of potential value there. Of course, the 4-month Dora. You have Rienri Ramen in other suits on the right. Well, you have a nice pin shape with a 4, 5, 6 and a whole bunch of garbage. Across the way, a couple pairs, maybe just go Tanya. You want something to get rid of that 9-mon, but on that, couple pairs, multiple ways to Peiko. Of course, if you draw a 3-pin, then you start dreaming of Rion Peiko. Always a fan favorite. And on the left, definitely Pinfu hand, nothing fancy here. Looking to draw Dora.
We saw Michael taking his time at the start, trying to perhaps gauge the likelihood of getting the Itsu here and plan out the early discards. Finding the 3-mon is such a big hit, because now he can play this hand comfortably, even if it doesn't end up being Itsu, especially after having drawn that East pair. It's double tone.
Yeah, Michael will just go ahead and call this down. Takes the fairly wide shape. Not technically Ishan 10. Oh, wait, no, it is. It's headless Ishan 10.
I guess we're looking for 3 diamonds to fill in their pair,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
so you're going to have to fill that one. So now 2 away still, but by far the fastest hand. The one across getting closer, though.
Yeah, double East call, definitely a scary perspective for the table, because you've got an easily usable Dora in the form of the 4-mon. And we can see Michael's got one of those 4-mon already. That's already 5,800. And if he has a second one, that's just 12K.
And Irie just going probably towards a Tanya shift here. Also, potential upgrades to 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku, your personal favorite.
Oh, of course.
Oh, well, just draw Dora. The problem here is with that 1-mon discard, it's not particularly useful. And we're going to have the dealer here, Headless Ishunten for double East Dora 1.
Yeah, I did pull in the 3-mon, which means the awkward
Well, I think you just have to
cheese,
take it.
yeah. So
Oh, we have a cultist waiting on that 3, so can't resist it. And it may come out from Irie here. But has enough pairs to where it's not guaranteed. But she may be thinking Chitoy. Nope, switch to the 9-pin, and this is an amazing weight. It looks great here. The alone who feels like there's any chance of having him is Irie, and even with that 7-pin discard seems unlikely. So there are 3 in the wall here.
Yeah, waiting game now for Michael. It's hard to imagine him swapping off to much else. Maybe if
I
he
mean, a
draws a
1-mon
Dora.
or a 4-mon.
The problem is even then there's 3 1-mon discarded. All the 1-mon are gone already.
A 1-pin's 2-cut, so that's not going to be the switch.
We do see the Tanya Tempai for Hado. Oh no.
Well, that's a cheat toy on the left. Ishunten will play it as such.
And now that
Yes.
the final Sanzo has been drawn, Hado cannot win this unless the weight is swapped.
And with how Irie's playing this, it definitely feels like a Chitoi too. Could switch here to the Shumpon. I think without the 3-Sos out, I would have switched.
Yeah, I think Hado might be trying to snipe the 3-so if someone's playing safe to what looks like a dealer Tempai. It might discard the 3-so, but instead the 9-pin's
Oh,
gonna
gonna
come
get
out.
hit. Deals in for 58. And that was one where no matter who draw it, it was going to come out.
That's right. Unless you're, paranoid again about the fact that it hasn't come out yet, but even then, it really doesn't look like the dealer needs it.
Yeah, maybe Irie could have held on to it as a potential cheat toy tile. It's just really bad for everyone. But we have a repeat here for Michael, who's now clearly in first place. Has a Hatsu pair, Pei pair, might even try and go Honitsu with this.
Ooh.
Well, now it's a non-pair, so the question is, which Honitsu do you want? You could actually choose any of the 3 suits here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you have to discard the Dora suit as the suit that has the fewest tiles / the worst
Now,
shapes.
looks like it's just going to be played straightforward for speed. I don't like this. I think you should be looking for a little bit more here. Oh, and there's your Dora, and now you're sad. But we have the Haku call on the right, also looking to be pretty fast there, headless. Across the way needs the 7-pin, the 5-so, and the 3-mon. So that's one where the Shanten isn't that bad, but the shapes are awful. And on the left, we have a Dora, Pinfu, possibly Peiko. Lots of potential value. I believe that's...
It is
Yeah, that's
Yishanten.
Ishanten. Yeah, you could even just call the 3-mon or the 3-so.
But Galhan's been making moves 3 quick calls and already Tempai waiting Tonki 7-mon. Same sort of headless situation that we saw last time, and now we'll swap to the 8.
And with a 6-7, you figure the only way the 8 deals in if there's some sort of random Shampoo, maybe with Dora. But we have a Ricci on the left for Ricci Pinfu Dora 1, 2 5-pin.
Yeah, problematic now for Galhan, who's opened 3 times and now has limited tiles of defense. Nothing to do but to fight.
Oh, the 4 is an awful tile. Says, you know what? The 8 doesn't look that bad.
4 is a
Oh,
great
it
tile.
gets rewarded! Just select the correct Tonki. Galhan more than happy with that result, especially after that Ricci, where you're panicking and just the tile comes right out for you like that.
They're right next to each other in the wall. Perfect timing.
All right, well, Galhan's going to be dealer here now as a result, as a Pinfu type hand, can accept a Dora 6-mon. The rest shapes are okay. Doesn't really look like a Sanjiku here, but you can always float maybe 2, 3, 4 eventually, or maybe some 5, 6, 7 on the right. We have an Anko the 3-so, has the south pair, can call that down. May even go Ipeiko Ishanten now, needing the 3-pin and 7-pin, but you just want so much more with this. This is the type of hand you look at and go, is Swanko here? Because you just don't want the Ipeiko Nomi. You have the South, even if you end up just start pawning things. It just feels sad to win this as Ipeiko.
Yeah, across the way there's that Dora, Tanyao shapes. Maybe Pinfu now, the 3-pin draw. On the left, 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku is viable, but there's a Dora. Oh, that gets confirmed into a shape with a 7-mon draw. Perfect.
Goes ahead and gets rid of the 1 here. Just going to try and play it as standard Pinfu. I think the 8-mon is much more common cut there, because you can pair up the 1 and the 4 you said, and you potentially get rid of this 5-7 block. We have our Dama on the right for Ipeiko on 3-pin.
Yeah, kind of as you said, Ipeiko just a little bit too sad when there's some improvements to be made.
Well, there are a lot, and I'm actually very surprised 6-pin was not called.
The
I
torture
would have
play.
smashed the pawn button there.
Specifically 6-pin, right? Because the 7-pin, the 8-pin
Right, it's going to
becomes a lot more
isolate the
easy.
7 and the 8, and then someone calls the second, oh, it never gets it. And then you're waiting on the South. The only concern is you do kind of look Honitsu with that pawn if you make that call.
Yeah, if you 6-pin pawn and then 3-so, 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 you definitely look Onitsu.
Well, yeah.
That might be a bit too greedy.
Yeah, I think that's a bit much, but there are ways to have made some value out of this, I feel. But instead of going for the Ricci Ipeco, does the one turn Sumigiri Ricci. Oh no! And that would potentially be waiting on the south here, which is of course
Eat.
Yakuhai, if that would have been the switch, but we're a long way in. And on the left we have a Ricci Dora 1 waiting on 7 Mon. The 7 is 2 left on the wall. We haven't talked about the 3 pin, but it's dead.
Yeah, 7 Bond definitely a worse quality weight, but much more alive in the wall, surprisingly enough. The wall hasn't been doing Haru many favors here in terms of making disguising the 3 pin at all.
Well, Gahan might fall for the 3 if he was watching Sumogiri because the 6 had come out, and I think that it may not have been the intentional one turn wait into Suji Trap, but that was the end result here.
Yeah, I definitely think Haru was waiting for something better, saw the Suji 6 come out, and said, you know what, that's good enough.
But
Done.
deals in there, Ruchidora 1. As Michael will extend the lead here, Iniura, nope, will be glad though with the 3,600 net from that hand. And who does South round? Well, we have a West Onko here.
Mm.
Other shapes are decent, but nothing particularly fancy. Just play efficiently and see what happens. On the right, we have a Haku pair. The
Chi.
rest of the shapes are great, though. You're almost kind of sad to call the Haku. But who's not sad to call is across the way. Michael, especially on this run here, goes and calls the Chi on the 9. So looking for Junchan Dora 2 or Junchan Sanjuku Dora, potentially. And on the left, we have the Chun pair and great shapes.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised this 4 so is even being held in hand, given that
I'm not, because there is also an Itsu route that a lot of
Come.
people will miss in this situation.
that is true. We could play the 5 for the 5 and the 6, but we have to make sacrifices elsewhere.
Yes, and that's going to be the problem here is kind of determining what your head's going to be.
In this case, the West is a fortunate cut because Michael is not going to draw any more of those.
No. And Irie just goes ahead and cuts from the pair there, sees the absolute danger on the board here. I imagine she'll just Ricci if she gets there, but does not really want to throw this 9-bit. It looks awful against that hand.
Yeah, slow going for dealer though. And
Would
when
she this if you wanted to lock in the
Chi.
Junshan? That's who to play. And there goes the 4.
yeah, you-
Similarly, though, you could also have just cut the 3 pin there and floated the Itsu still. But the plan here appears to be the 9-pin Tonki, or 9-mon Tonki, but that's going to help immensely. That allows you to potentially use the 1 Sojourner pair.
yeah, with
Because the
all
problem with
these
the 9-mon is there's only 1 left.
the 4 so you're kind of anticipating to see from ID if it's drawn, just given the early 4 so cut. The problem is Galhan's holding a pair. There's only 1 3 so left in the wall.
And yeah, you see that Irie just does not want to throw the 9-pin, and it looks awful.
Yeah, with door 3, certainly understandable. Haru has paired up the East, which is still live in the wall. It's a path to complete this hand, but then you have to toss out some dangerous tiles like this green dragon.
Oh, there's our Tempai waiting on 7-mon. Uh-oh! You see the hesitation. There was a late Tadashi. You have to assume that's Tempai. The question is, can you get away from this? And the answer is yes. Good dodge there by Gauhan.
Galhan recognizes the danger. Late 3 pin followed by 2 pin and 2 so really feels like the hand's gotten there. And at that point, even Sotogawa doesn't matter because if the hand is an outside hand, there is no such thing as Sotogawa.
Well, plus you cut a 2 and a 3, so it means you picked up a completely different block out of nowhere.
We'll see how Galhan
Oh,
handles
by
7
the
8 to
way,
pin it up.
dealer's getting close, and is actually Ishunten for Chitoy.
And fortunately, that's a big draw because you don't have to drop the East. You don't have to drop the Green Dragon. These are the dangerous tiles. 4 so, 5 so, 5 so. That's perfectly safe.
This 8-so is actually very safe because you see all the 7s. It cannot deal into much. And dealer says, I see the 8, I'm not worried about it. And there's the 9, and now it clears. And we'll just take the K10 play here. Khan
Oh,
into 1 pin as a new Dora. No one has it, though.
but this is a Hanuman now. Jinshan Dora 4. And the 7-mon is still
Decisions
live.
on the left whether to call
Home.
this. Can call and cut 5. I like this call. The 5's not dealing in unless it's Itsu. And we see all the 7s. Instead throws the 5, which are dealing on the right, but that's not actually a Yaku.
Yeah, Galhan's playing around all the possibilities, but 5-so revealed to be safe.
Uh-oh. Okay, there. Yeah, that will clear the. Oh well. Now
Oh
do you just
my.
start dreaming of Swanko?
The challenge is this 1-so. Can you clear this 1-so? I guess
I
if you
mean,
get
it's
Suwanko
not
Tenpai, you're going to try.
great, but yeah, if you get Tempa, you just have to take this one. A little surprised the 5-so wasn't taken, the second one,
Mm.
Home.
because the hand just stuck now. And we see the call there on the right to switch to a 6-pin donkey, figuring that one is safe from just about anything. And dealer folding out. Does not want to throw this one, so the East is not safe according to Irie's position, but it actually is.
Yeah, I think the 3-mon, the 2-mon should be relatively safe, but
The end result is 2 players Tempai. Michael just took control of that hand, and only Irie managed to find a way back into it.
Mm.
We're in South 2 already.
yeah, these players have been playing very quickly.
All right, dealer here has a Chun pair, probably call and go, nothing fancy here. On the right, maybe Pinfui Peiko, 3-pin Doro would be really nice there to fill that penchant. Across the way, you have 3 pairs and a bunch of floaters. Feels kind of Chitoy, maybe Honitsu and Sozu. And on the left, can accept a Dora,
Home.
potential 1, 2, 3 Sanjiku along the way. There's our Chun Pone by dealer.
Nice draw for Michael. Going to help us potentially get off of this 1-2 penchant. Not that we necessarily want to, because we want to keep the door if we draw it, but
T.
in the
Well,
future,
that one mon will be cheated by dealer. Now Ishanten, one away, looking for 7-pin and 3-6-0.
speaking of
And there's
3-pin,
that Dora that was desperately needed by Michael.
and now you've got a huge Ishanten.
Let's see, what is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9? I guess technically 1, but you're really sad
Technically
to take that
1,
one.
technically 8. Yeah, you basically get all of the Sozu.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's big in the Pinzu. The problem is having cut the
Problem is
6,
you draw
9.
the 8. Well, if you draw the 8, you don't feel that bad about it
Yeah.
because the Freighten Ricci is okay. If it's 3-sided with potential 8. So you're a little sad you cut the 9 earlier. But there is our Tempai. This is 3-sided.
Each.
And we'll just take it. I think this is the right play. The only concern is the 1-pin is terrible. You figure the 4-pin is likely being used, and there's a decent chance people will be able to use the 7. This is one where I could see maybe trying to switch a little bit, but at the same time, it's 3-sided. And even that 6-0, which looks like an upgrade, wouldn't have been, because that's also Furi 10.
Oh, there's the Sumo.
Just Sumo, and that's why we hit the button around here. Ichi Sumo Dora. No Aura, but we'll extend the lead for Michael, who's at 48.8. No one else even at 30K, and has a decent dealer starting in here. With the Haku pair, can accept potentially 2 Dora 6-0 with the 4-5-7-8. The rest of the shapes are kind of conchunt everywhere, though. On the right, we have definitely a Pinfu type hand. Can also accept a 6-0 Dora, potential 2-3-4 Sanchuku, medium swing shifting for 1-2-3. Across the way, nice Pinzu shape, and a whole bunch of garbage floaters. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-pin, and other than that, yuck. On the left, we have the Hatsu Pon, and probably going Chanta here.
Yeah, Speedy from ID, who is just barely below 30K, but with a Chanta Hatsu, that will at least put you really, really close to getting over.
But also would get into second place going into all last.
Yeah, South 3 really want to
Home.
solidify a good spot going into all last.
There's our Hakupon by the dealer here. Still headless and kind of awkward shape. Just needs the Dora. Of course, feel like I say that about a lot of hands. I just need to draw the Dora, and then it's fine.
And all the Dora are in the well to be drawn, so just about every player can use it except for ID. I'll be eager to pull one in.
Well, 3-so will work. There's the first Dora. On the right, as Galhan pulls it in, completes the 6-7-8 now.
9-pin pair found, so a little more flexibility with ID's hand.
fills in a Ryunman there. Now can lock in the Tanyao by cutting the Forso and wants the safe dial here.
Yeah, of course, perfect Ishan 10 would cut the Northwind instead, but Galhan looking for safety.
Oh, there's a big situation. Dealer got Tempai on 2-pin, which is only one left on the wall. And on the right, we have Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao, Dora waiting on 2-5 so.
So many times we've seen the headless situation turn into a Tonki. The players have been doing well to select the correct Tonki. Does Michael
7-pin
play?
is Tsuji. The 2 doesn't look that bad either.
Yeah,
And of
Simpin is
course, if
Footy
it's paired
10.
up, that's when you're really sad.
I think if it wasn't Footy 10, he might have tried the 2-pin instead.
Well, the East is also for a 10, and what, 2 cut at least?
Now, Hadu kind of wants to play for this hand, but hasn't made improvements yet. One so, though, is Suji.
There's one cut tune. Oh, on the 4. So now the 2-pin is one chance. I feel if there's any sort of switch, it's reasonable to take it. You see the 9 cut here. I'm going to see Irie give up some efficiency to not have to throw that 5-pin.
Tempai found
And
for
that's
Hadu, gonna
Tempai
slam.
across the way. This is a Richunomi on 3-mon. Of course, you see 1 in the discards, 2 in hand, so there is 1 left on the wall here. And that should definitely incentivize an outright fold. Oh, and can switch here to the 3-6 and does so for dealer.
Oh!
And the 6 comes right out. Man, Michael, you do nothing wrong this game.
So it draws the deal and Tal says, you know what, that's great. That improves my weight. And Hadu draws the wrong side and deals in. That's a couple times now that Hadu's had the first Ricci and just gotten chased and dealt in. Although in this case, Galhan was the first Tempai.
Right. Well, dealer here is Michael, who is on a bit of a run now. Also has a floating Dora, a nice little Pinfu shape, maybe a 678 Sanjiku along the way. On the right, similarly, kind of a Pinfu, but you have the Hatsu pair, so we're just going to call it down. The rest of the shapes aren't great. Needs a 2-mon and a 3-pin to fill some kind of ugly blocks there, but a third Hatsu will make this a lot easier since you can call anything. And especially with where the scoreline is, you definitely like to be second going it all last. Across the way, definitely Pinfuham, even Itsu in So. Maybe some sort of 3-4-5 Sanchiku building, and a 6-mon to potentially accept that 8-mon Dora on the left. I mean, it accepts a Dora, but you really almost want a 9-pin, which doesn't fit immediately into a 6-8-8 shape, but it gives you so many Sanchiku Junchan shapes if you do that. And there goes the Dora from dealer.
Yeah, this is interesting because it has so many pairs in the hand that, although the straightforward efficiency is to cut the door, I wonder if it's better to just cut away from one of the pairs and float the door a little bit longer.
I think I'd have cut 9 so.
It gives you some Tanyao shifts
Gives
and
you Tanyao and Ipeiko and plenty of other options. And the blocks as they are just hideous.
the 4-mon, I think, really helps you move the
Yeah, I
direction of
like
cutting the
keeping
door.
the 4, but I don't think the 9 does anything for this hand.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Ishan 10, like if we draw into Tempai, Shabo 2-6 doesn't feel that strong.
Oh, and there's the 9-pin I was asking for. And we'll lock in the Sanjiku type shape. Well, there's the 5 we were talking about. Goes and cuts the 6 here.
9 to follow.
Well, you imagine the 6 is definitely because it's the more dangerous of the 2. The question, will this be called down for a Tanya if one of those 2s comes out?
Given that we're in the middle of the second row, I imagine so.
Especially as dealer, you don't even feel that bad about it.
Yeah, we've already given
But
up our value route with the door discards, so at this point we're just going for speed.
very wide headless Ishan 10 there on the right for Gauhan.
Hadu Tempai not slamming though, wants to perhaps upgrade to Itsu in the Sozu. Can also find an Ipeiko route if you draw the 3-pin.
Well, not Tempai. Still has a floating door in that hand. Did we freeze or...
Should be going.
No, just had a hiccup. We've seen a Chi, and now dealer is waiting 2-mon 2-so. And we see the... Okay, there it goes. Across the way, that is a Richi, Pinfu, possibly
Three-sided.
Peiko, 2-5-8.
Crazy.
Of course, the 2s are unlikely to come out because, of course, we have Michael here, Tempai, waiting with 2 of them. And the last one is on the left, which fit very nicely into the hand there for Irie. The 8 may come out, though, eventually.
Well, I guess in this case, we need the 8 for our Yaku,
Yeah,
so
for our Sanshoku, and it doesn't even look that great to throw in the first place. You just throw the 1 anyway. I mean, you see 3 of the 8s. It looks awful. There's the
that's a
6.
Dama from Galhan.
Dong.
And there it goes. We'll just try and shut this down. Gets to 30,000 off that Dama. I warned
Classic.
you, Galhan likes those Damas.
Classic. It's never a surprise
Oh,
to see.
well, just 2 Dora, great shapes. That's the comeback hand you're looking for. Oh, and now just perfect Ishunten on turn 3. On the right, kind of a Pinfu, maybe an Itsu in Monzu. Can also shift a Dora there, has a few other pairs across the way. Pinfu, but kind of ugly, maybe Itsu in Sozu. Only has the 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 7, though, right
Hmm.
now. And on the left, also Ishunten for potential Ricci
Eat.
Ipeco Dora 1, but first the Tempai is dealer with Ricci Dora 2 on 4-7 so. Of course, we see a bunch of those in hands already. There's only 1 7 so and 2 4 so. Uh-oh! That's a really
Hmm.
bad tile. Because that's going to incentivize the push here.
But
And
Michael
the
can
only
still
reason you
play
get
with a
away
six
with it,
eight.
yeah, you can't get away with the 6-8. The 6 and oh, there's the
Dong.
Apatsu. Doesn't manage to get away from it. Ricci Apatsu Dora 2. So that's a direct hit Mongon, and that actually changes the leader. Off of that, Galhan now in first place.
Yeah, that was just a broken hand. And also, there's a long thought from Galhan on the Ricci. Maybe it gave a signal of maybe a weak shape, but that was certainly a strong shape, the Yamen weight.
Yeah, can't complain too much about that one. Well, dealer here now has a Dora, maybe 2, 3, 4 Sanchiku building. Shapes aren't great, though. 3 Mon would really help. On the right, feels like a Tanya. You're eventually going to cut that 8, 9 so, because you have the Olar up with a 5, 6 so. 4 so's Dora across the way. 6, 7, 8 Sanchiku looks pretty good to me. You have 6, 7 in 2 suits and 7, 8 in the third one. And on the left, well, that's a bit of a mess. Also has my least favorite shape in Mahjong, the old 1, 2 in a block where the 3 is the Dora indicator.
Yeah, it's so hard to get. That ends up being your final shape.
And currently, Ishun 10 for dealer would be Ricci Dora 1.
Well,
Oh,
Tempai.
just
Eat.
fill it. That's the power of Sanzo for you. Waiting on the 8 pin. There are 2 on the wall and 2 in Haru's hand right now.
Second,
Ricci Dora 1.
second consecutive hand where Galhan Tadashi's every single turn into Tempai.
I mean, if you can do it, it's great.
This powerful, absolutely, so little information given to the table here that they have little else to do but
Yeah,
to
Haru
jam.
doesn't want to try this directly, even at 10,500. And that 7 Mon may give Michael an incentive to get back into this hand, because Arichinomi would overtake here. Oh, but a third 8 pin there on the right. Oh, that's going to make this really hard to complete. And definitely looks like Michael's just shoving at this point.
Yeah, went away. Nightmon still safe.
Already been cleared.
Ah,
Is that Tempai on the right for Haru? I
it
think it
is.
is. Yeah, just Ricci this. You can't Dama, given the 2 doesn't really help you. And that's the last 8. That's never coming out. And a Dora draw there
Ooh,
for
Michael.
Michael.
Mike.
So doesn't really want to throw the 1 so, but I don't see how you get away from it.
Yeah. Just has to make the play. And this way, if you draw a second Dora, you're probably just fighting with everything. The issue with the Dama for Hadu is that
Well, Haru's looking for some sort of Spawn Anko upgrade, and
mhm.
that's honestly about the best tie you could have gotten for it. So if you don't take it, yeah, see that was obviously the plan then.
Yeah, it's when you
Says
turn
no, it's
off the
got to
auto
be
roam.
Spawn Anko time now. The 5
Tough.
mon does. I'd go. Oh, okay, going for the Dora Tonki play here, because of course the 2-5 is Furi 10. And I imagine it's just a Ricci on
Eat.
the 5 mon. If you
All
reach the
right.
Dora, you're in big trouble here. This is actually a 0 versus 2 weight on
That's
Dora Tonki.
Template for ID too. You have to jam a 4 mon or a 7 mon.
I think you have to here. I mean, it's not great, but what else are you going to
With
do?
2 sticks, that's your ticket to getting over 30K. You
Eat.
don't even need to reach you for that.
Yeah, and says, that's fine, we're just going to slam it. Well, I don't think Dama here really makes any
Right.
sense. It's not like it hurts you anymore, so just take the raw EV play of slamming.
And maybe if there was only one Ricci, but against two Riccis, Child's just gonna come after there.
There's the
Oh!
Dora Tonki Sumo, Ricci Sumo, Dora 2. No Ura, but that's going to be Michael saying, I want those points back, thanks. And we'll end here over 50,000. Had dropped a bit after that deal into the dealer Mongon there in Ipatsu, but ends up with a plus 35.6, going to get him all the way to the positives. In second place is going to be Gauhan with an 11.9, extends towards plus 30. In third place is going to be Irie with a minus 10.9, could drop a little bit, and Haru drops quite a bit with that minus 36.6, but still right there on the promotion line, although as we always say, it's very early in the season.
Exciting game there, and that last hand challenging that dealer Ricci. I mean, Michael did it before, got punished with a 12K. That didn't scare him off from dancing around and finding his way back into Tempai and challenging again to take first place.
All right. Well, I think we have a game we were all looking forward to, so let's head there.
Yeah, we had a very interesting A1 matchup scheduled. It started a little while ago, but we should be joining in pretty early on here.
Will be Barry, Aaron, Viet, and Peter. You see the Tonki weight on the 9-pin here for Aaron. And this Ishan 10. I imagine if you get the temp, I might deal in here. Because you figure there's a good chance someone else has a bunch of the 8s. The 9 doesn't look that bad against this pawn. But you are kind of wondering, wait, why haven't I seen anything else? And that's Tempai. No, gets away from it. Discipline full there with the Tuso. Admittedly, it would have only been Richinami, but it's cheaper than... Tempai managed to be cheaper than this, unless everyone gets there. It seems very unlikely. Oh, no, just ends up dealing it anyway.
That is the dealer Ricci, so we'll swap over in the next hand.
And all these players had at least reasonable session ones. Oh, we see a con immediately from dealer here with the South. And actually, it's pretty good shapes here. A pair, two pairs, a completed run, now a 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course that South con. So sitting in excellent position here. The problem is this Champon's pretty bad when one of the shapes is your door indicator. On the right, we have a few pairs, just pretty standard efficiency hand, though. 7 Mon and 7 Pin would both really help. Maybe a 6 So for a potential Sanjiku down the way. Across the way, 3, 4, 5 Sanjiku looks viable here. The rest of the blocks are okay, and of course, Dora always helps. And on the left, we have definitely a Pinfu hand, maybe an Itsu in So. 3 Pin would really help as well.
Yeah, we saw Aaron here cutting away from the 4-mon, holding the more efficient shape, but this also potentially leads to you dropping the door in the future. You could also try to commit with a 1-mon and give yourself the 2-4 Sanchoku chance, but...
Oh, I see an upgrade to Ishan 10 there on the right for Viet, and a Dama across the way waiting on 4 pin for Tanya Dora 2, looking for a shape upgrade.
Yeah, Peter does this a lot. So a lot of times he'll get to Tempai and not immediately take the Ricci if there's an improvement, or sometimes he'll wait one turn and slam if he reads that it's good enough.
Oh, just Sumo. I mean, that's Mongon anyway. Although you do kind of wonder, did I miss out on a lot of value? With the Richi Apatsu would already be a minimum Hanemon, and of course 2 door indicators. But regardless, going to be a big win there for Peter. I move on to East 3.
Yeah, with Tanya Door to Conchan weight, bad Concha weight, but with good improvements, makes some sense to Dama there.
All right, Via with a nice little hand here. Dora, great shade, 111467 pin, and a 2345 where 4 is Dora. On the right, we have the pair of Haku, so that can be called down, comes switch up to Dora. Across the way, whole bunch of Pinzu, but the rest of the shapes are kind of mediocre. And Via's a little slow on the left. Well, it's definitely a Pinfu type shape, but definitely needs draws like that to pull this into a 6-7-8 Sanchoku. Getting away from that 9 towards that 6 is going to make this a lot easier. Potential Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao, Sanchoku, Dora type
홈.
hand. But a long way away. There's our Haku call on the right for Peter.
Now, I do like Viet's hand right now, though. A lot of flexibility in terms of what becomes the pair in the hand. And the sheeps are pretty reasonable, too.
Oh, just fill in the one block you weren't really worried about. And I think any Pinzu is a huge upgrade here. I don't think the 2-pin gives Tempai, or the 3-pin, but anything else is going to put you really good position.
Yeah, looking at the 8-pin, those are held, but like relatively live. And anything in the middle is going to be good, obviously. Peter, after that first call, has kind of been treading water here.
We have a Poland on the left, just trying to get this over with. The Shunten now. And there's our
Yeet.
Tempai for Via waiting on. We'll decide whether he wants to go with the 4-7 or the 9-pin Tonki. Waits for the 4-7. There is extra Fu here on a Sumo. So that can always have something to do with the decision.
Yeah, also could have taken the 8-pin Kanchan, but you never want to do that when you've got the 9-pin Tonki or the 4-7.
And at the same time, Aaron just has no defense against this because there's no information whatsoever here. Just kind of desperately throws the 6-pin half Suji.
Well, that gives him 3-3-3 if he wants.
Well, the problem is that 7's coming out if he continues this line.
Aaron's the type of player who usually tries to continue. I guess the 8-pin was the correct weight.
No, yeah, just Sumo 2 turns later.
Okay, he is going to fold out here.
Has no interest in fighting this. We have Ishunten on the right now, headless. Well, got ahead. Didn't want to throw the 5 Mons, so not Tempai yet.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
there's the 4. And you see all these pins. So it
Don't.
doesn't look that bad, but deals in there. Ichidora 1. Or would be big, but doesn't get it. Viet, though, will close the gap a little bit, right around 30k again. And another dealer turn here has mediocre shapes here. You can see all the blocks starting to develop. Maybe a distant 3, 4, 5 Sunshku. You have the South Anko on the right. Pinfu Taipan, maybe an Ipeco, a Dora. Potential 2 4 Sunshku, but a long way away. Across the way, East pair. Nice little 4, 4, 5, 6 so shape, especially when the 4 so is Dora's. This is definitely a call and go. Ooh, and that 5 6 shape is really nice now. Potential 5 6 7 Sanchoku, Dora 2 with the East. On the left, also a pretty good hand there, but desperately needs the 3 so, which feels like always an in-demand tile in a hand like this. And Barry gets one, but it fits nicely into the hand, so that's not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, Hat's making nice progress here. 2 uncles for the dealer, and still the door acceptance, good floaters.
The Shunten across the way may not even call the East now.
Yeah, we'll see how long Viet holds this. It is double tone, and we are looking for a pair, so I imagine we'll be holding on. Well, I think it's time to go.
And there it goes. And yeah, didn't even have the calls on at that point. Oh, but draws the Anko.
Eat.
And there's our Tempai on the left. Ricci, Tanya, Dora waiting on 3, so there are 2 on the wall. Because, of course, there is 1 across, and 1 is the Dora indicator.
I wonder if Viet will try to play around this. Yeah, it goes 1-1-1.
Yeah, it doesn't hard fold with the South. Trying to
Mhm.
get a way back in, especially as dealer.
And of course, Barry with the 300 already is going to try to fight this. 2-pin jam. Chun is once cut, still going to be jammed out there. And now Tempai.
You just Ricci the East.
Eat.
Could also Dama the 6-pin. But Ricci East is the normal play here.
Ricci door 2 for 5,200.
Ishunten. No, not Ishunten. There was a breakaway earlier with that 2-1-2-mon. The Viet pretty clearly out. Peter trying to find a way in. And we wonder where those 3 so are. The 5-8 is actually awful. There are only 2 left on the wall. This is actually a 2 versus 2 weight.
Yeah, at this point it comes down to the draws because I don't think any of the non-Ricci players are going to be dropping 3-so here.
相撲
There's the sumo, Ricci Sumo Dora. Oh, Dora 2, of course, because the 4-so is the Dora. So it's going to be a Mongon there for Barry out into first place there. Peter, though, in a reasonably comfortable second, and will be dealer here in East 4.
And my experience playing against Peter is he has the craziest hands on his dealership. So you really don't want to allow him to continue. I don't think that you're going to have much choice though in this hand. This high pie is crazy.
Yeah, Ricci Pinfu, Tanyawi Peiko. Oh, and this is with a backfire, having cut the 1 from the Penchon, and of course draws the 3 the next turn, because that's always how this works, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
On the right, Barry kind of hedging towards Itsu or even potentially Chanta there. Will be interesting to see what happens if a 3-pin is drawn. Probably
Yeah.
just take the Ricci, though.
With the door 2 especially, it's going to be
Yeah, probably just take that Ricci. Across the way, I mean, you have the Itsu potential in Manzu, but it's such an ugly shape. 1, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, and now another 9. Ugh. And on the left, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 Sanshogu. Maybe an Ipeiko if you draw 5-so or 6-so. I mean, it's not a bad hand, but it's nothing compared to what Peter has. Or what
yeah.
Barry has, for that matter.
Outside of that 3-3 mon, the hand's still waiting for Yusuf Tal passing up the 2-pin because we don't just want Tanya with a high pie like this. And confirming the 3 mon is the pair currently playing 5-7-9 mon, and then the Diamond in the Pinzu and the 4-6 shape in the Sozu.
Peter doesn't want to call us down for Tanya. There's too much value here. Oh, a bit of a backfire there for Barry. And a Ryunman fill across the way. Now Ishun 10, although it'd be an ugly tempai to take. Well, that 7-1 might incentivize you to just maybe even go Tanya with this. If you get anything to connect on the lower end of that floor, you just cut the 9. Or you could do that, and now you're just going to be Ricci Nomi, most likely.
Yeah, 6 mon or 4 mon draws give us Pinshu, but most of the draws are Nomi.
1
And dealer eventually gets there. Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya, possibly Peiko. But Peiko's dead. The 5 is not going to come out unless something really weird happens to Viet. The 2-pin is 2 in hands, 1 discarded, so only 1 out left in the entire wall here. We'll deal in with the 3 there,
That's
but there's no
Aaron.
Yaku,
Yeah.
because that is a 9-so. It is not Tanyao.
Didn't want to challenge with this kind of sad Shampoo and Wade. Was hoping for the Sumo though, and now has a 3 mon if he needs to fold out. Could try to find his way back to a tempai somewhere else.
And Barry's just been sitting here this whole time. And of course, Barry could get in big trouble if he draws 4-pin.
With 3 Dora, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely going to jam.
You have to just force it in that case.
Fortunately for Barry, there are no 4 pins in the wall to draw.
Looks to just be folding out at this point. Says this isn't going to happen, and this isn't worth pushing just for tempai payments.
Yeah, well, all the 3s have come out now, so the 4-5's not even that great. He might be hoping to draw in the Pinzu now. Towards the tempai.
Ooh, that is not tempai on the left. We'll have to cut the 7-9. There's the last 2-pin, and now you're really sad.
Yeah, but still Ishantam. And another draw remaining.
ポン
There's our tempai on the left, now on 4-7 Furiten. Haite Furiten would be funny. Aw, I tried. We all have 3 players tempai there, as Aaron manages to get back in there at the end.
Barry was presented with an interesting choice. Do we con the tune for the Rinshot draw, or do we go take our draw naturally?
Well, end result is we have Peter as dealer here. with a Honba and a stick in the middle, 2 Yaku high, and a floating Haku potentially. Are you thinking Daishangen?
Oh, absolutely. But
Well, Barry isn't.
I got the
And Barry's
mochi
going to
mochi
have
to
a
contend
lot
with.
more to say about this because the Chun
Boom.
is now paralocked. And at the same time, Peter like, well, I'm going to try it. I'm mildly surprised the Tuso wasn't taken. I feel if you're doing this, should probably taken the Tuso anyway. But on the right, we have the aforementioned Chun pair can draw the 3-so for possibly Peiko as a floating 3-mon Dora. Decent shape in Pinzu with a 5, 7, 8, 9 across the way. Kind of a Pinfu hand, actually not that bad if you're off 5 or 7-so. And there is the 7-so. This is now a headless Ishunten. And on the left, we have great shapes and then an awkward Manzu block with a 4, 6, 6, 7, 9.
Yeah, Root desperately needs a 5-mon, but you're not going to complain if you draw the Dora 3-mon instead.
Well, speaking of Dora 3-mon, Barry picks up a second one. Can probably just call this
Eat.
down if the Chuna are ever to come out, but we know that's probably not going to happen. And interesting, takes the Shampon 6-mon 5-so block.
Dom.
And gets the Ipatsu with the
Nakasuchi.
Nakasuji. Nice little trap there by Viet, and Barry walks right into it.
Nakasuchi is just Genbutsu, unless it's not. In this case, it certainly
It
wasn't.
always works until it doesn't.
Yeah, there's a very natural progression. You have the 2-5-8 in your hand, so you cut the 2-so, you cut the 8-so. If you pair up the 5 and end up on a Shabo, it'd be super sneaky, but
Well, especially in Akanashi. In Akaari, that'll happen a lot more than you might think. Because, like,
Mhm.
oh, I drew a red one. Well, that's the end of that. We're keeping this block
Boom.
until the end of time. But in Akanashi, no red 5s. Just not waiting on it that often. Dealer here with a Pinfu Mini Peiko with a 5 or 8-mon draw. On the right, great blocks there, especially in Manzu 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. So you have a pair and 2 completed runs. The other blocks aren't that bad either. Across the way, though, that's Ishunten for possible Sananko.
Mm.
Also has the Shaw Anko, so plenty of value there. We see the Chun there on the left. Oh, that is Tempai across the way. I may just Dama
Eat.
this. Nope, we'll go ahead and slam it, waiting on the 3-mon. There is one left in the wall here. I didn't even get to the time to say Peter has a pretty good hand here and looks to very likely deal in here as a 3-mon eventually, because there are a lot of easy Tempai calls.
The Sanako.
Oh, that may be the one thing that gets him out, but he already cut the 1, so the Furitan means he won't take it.
Yeah, it's like the 7-8.
I think this is 100% a deal in. There it
Boom.
goes.
Riichi Shaw.
Whole bunch of food here as well. No Ura, but we'll be 3,200. And Viet now in first place. We head to South 2.
There's been a very swingy game. First place has changed hands a lot.
All right, dealer here is Aaron. Has a few pairs here, decent blocks, but when you have the 3, 5, 7, 7, 9 in so, it kind of makes the rest of the hand kind of shrink a bit. Viet calls the double south and be hedging towards Honitsu. Across the way, decent blocks there as well with a 4, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 pin, but a whole bunch of floaters to get rid of. And on the left,
Boom.
maybe one to the Assange Scoop. It doesn't take. It goes and throws the 1, so it does get pwned by Viet, who's now also hedging Toy Toy. But that 7-mon's a huge draw there for Barry. Potential Itsu here with a 1-mon, 5-mon. He earned this penchant that way.
And of course, 3-pin, 4-pin if it works as well. I wonder if he draws the 4-7. If he slams, I imagine he'll just cut the 1-2 and work towards the better shape in the Manzu.
And Viet goes and takes the Ishunten here. Doesn't want to cut this Haku yet, though. Looking for some sort of extra value.
Second door draw means Barry might think about working towards Tanya now.
And there's our opponent of the 2-pin. So Viet's not a really awkward space. Well, Barry says, you have 3 calls. I don't care. Just going to try and get the Tanya to shut this down. And there's our Tempai on the right, waiting on 5-8. So will just be the double south.
Yeah, a little extra fu on Sumo, but outside of that, 2 Han only. Meanwhile, the dealer might be progressing towards a Tanya of his own.
Well, Aaron just doesn't want to throw his Dora, but speaking of tiles being thrown, there's the 8, so we'll deal into the double non, but it's just the 2,000, and Viet will gladly take it and move on to his dealer turn in South 3. And a very good starting in here. It also has a floating south. That's one of those situations where you're like, I don't really want the Dora, but I guess I'll take it. potential 456, or Itsu now potentially in so with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So lots of options with this. I would just cut the Dora, honestly. It goes and throws the 4. Doesn't believe in the Sanshku. On the right, potential Itsu and Pinzu needs the 2 and 5. Across the way, Chun pair, decent shapes elsewhere, but really, when I look at that, I think you're going for Chun or a Tonki, most likely. Although with that draw, maybe you just keep playing efficiently and see what happens. On the left, Pinfu, Tanyao, maybe not even Pinfu, definitely feels like a Tanyao. And you're looking for a little bit more than that if you're Aaron with this score line. Yeah, you get out of last with the Tanyao, but Ricci Tanyao at least would be something.
Mm. Yeah, I'm continuing to look at that choice for Viet as the dealer, that whether to hedge the Sanshoku chance or the Dora. I think being headless moved him in the direction of holding the Dora because that's an easy pair up. However,
The wall said no and immediately connected to the 4-pin the next turn.
right.
There's our Tempai on the left. Could Dama this, looking for an upgrade. Could also cut 6, though.
Mm. That is a very
And
wide Ishanten.
And so Viet is now
Each.
headless Ishanten, and there's a Ricci across the way on 3-mon Chun Shumpon.
Well, I imagine we're gonna see a chase. No, Dama.
Stays Dama here, and there's Tempai for Viet. Ugh. It's not the one he wants.
1-4 versus 2-5.
Yeah, and the 2-5 is awful.
Throws it back, denies it.
Throws the safe tile, says we can cut the 7 so and wait 7-mon and wait 3-6 this way. I actually like this cut a lot.
Yeah, if we're gonna fight with something better than this. So wait.
Oh, well, that 3 so makes this really awkward. Just breaks Tempai completely now. As mentioned, the plan here was to go Nobeton 3-6, but if the tiles don't work, then it doesn't really matter. And honestly, with the scoreline, if Viet goes to a draw without Tempai, that's fine. And seems to be folding out now.
Yeah, playing very
If Tempai on
cautiously.
the right as well doesn't take the triple Furiten Itsu. So there were definitely some backfires in that hand.
Each.
Peter has waited long enough. He'll slam this one.
Says, you know what? The 8 actually doesn't look that bad here. There's one out, but I'm pretty sure the other one's at the wall. And the 8-pin, you just don't know anything about at this point.
Long.
There's a 7, deals into the Dama there on the left. As Aaron just kind of maneuvering the hand. Never hit the button, but eventually wins the hand.
Yeah, so players play very cautiously in this one in order to position themselves as best they could in all last, and yet really happy that that was the winning hand there. It was a Ron, and it was cheap.
Yes, we'll be in a reasonably comfortable position, but it's still Mangan Sumo away from anyone coming back here. The dealer is Peter, has a few pairs here, 4 of them actually. Could go Toy Toy. There are Chi Toy routes, but this feels like a call. Well, now you may just go Chi Toy as you're 1 away here. The 6-mon 3-pin or 7, so could still Toy Toy if so you get the 5-pin right away. On the right, Anko of 9 so really needs the 4-mon and the 7-mon in order to fill that across the way. Feels like 678 Sanjgu or 789 is the route. Has that floating 4 and then a 7999 pin. There's the shapes of 5-mon would also really help the Monzu to complete that 466789. On the left, I mean, it's just Tanya, maybe some sort of 678 or 79 Sanjgu eventually, but you just have a floating 8-pin, so you're looking for some sort of upgrade. And again, with where Viet is, he doesn't even really need to play this hand.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for Peter here. It was Chitoi Shanten, but will open up here, aim for Yakuhai, potentially Dora too, and still holding out hope that he connects to the 3-pin for a Honitsu as well.
Now, Peter goes and takes the East Shunten, can make the decision later as to whether to take the Honitsu block as well. And there's our Tempai across the way, waiting on 3-pin. This is Richi Nomi.
Trying to lock in second place. Oh, that
Oh,
really
it's the
encourages.
Apatsu!
Yeah.
Richi Apatsu.
Ura?
With
For
the
52,
Ura.
that's
So
enough.
that's going to be a comeback. Aaron going to win this game out of nowhere there at the end with the Dama in South 3 and the Apatsu Ura in South 4. with a plus 21.3 is going to jump Peter for sure. Via gets a respectable 10.8, but was looking for a little war with how the rest of that game went. Barry just kind of sat back most of the game with -8. Seems perfectly reasonable. And Peter started off strong and definitely fell off there towards the end, although some of those draws just forced a deal in.
Yeah, after the Ricci, your thoughts of going for Honitsu afterwards kind of go away, and you just aim for the fastest win possible, and it really encourages the 3-pin come out, especially once you draw the Anko of the 5-pin. It's really hard for that 3 to deal in, but
Yeah, it's only going to be
there was a way.
Penchon, the Hellweight, or the Kanchon, and it was in fact the Kanchon. But
And
Aaron comfortably in second place here. Pretty big gap now between him and Peter. But that's going to happen when you get first and he gets fourth. Of course, we can look at the seasonal stats for now. And I'm going to call out number 17. What is with you and the first like 2 sessions of Armel? Because this is like the 5th season in a row.
yeah, I don't know. For some reason, my first session is always poor for me, but we can come back.
Well, you've certainly done it every time until now, but it's early. We don't see too much from A1. The standards that we see in A1 kind of follow a pattern: lower deal in average, higher call rate, and a lower win rate that matches up with how A1 has generally been in the past. Because I talk about this many times, that you get progressively more and more standards. You start from C1, which is kind of chaos and just building solid value get up, and then more and more people build it, can build value and get stronger, and then you have A1 and it completely devolves into a complete disaster because everyone's trying to shut everyone else down.
Yeah, well, 21.6% dealing is not typical for me, so we'll hope that averages out towards the end of the season.
Well, speaking of deal-ins, look at Aaron's win rate and deal-in rate.
Yeah, that's pretty insane there. 1.9% deal in, just never deal in. That's a
Well,
that's a
you're
strat.
sitting there at will at 2% deal-in rate at -11. That kind of summarizes A1 right there.
Yeah, it's not just about non-dealing in. You also have to win some hands. But again, it's early days. We've got statistics are a little less meaningful in the early portion of the season.
Oh, well, just having 2 Dora, though, on the other hand, is very statistically significant. Just waking up with a hand like this. Of course, you're a little sad you can keep the Haku, but it'd be dead at this
Peach.
point, so not that useful. There's our Ricci on the left. This is an Totsu 1360, or 2360 rather.
Yeah, you
And
might.
Via just gets out of here. I'm surprised. I would have just shoved the 4 without thinking.
Well, the issue is there's no Yaku here. It's Atosuke on the hot side. I think he's hoping to work this towards Honitsu.
That seems to be the play at this point.
That 9-pin might end up being backfire in the future, though.
Well, also, there was a Toy rat if you keep the 9s.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great one, but as an option. Oh,
Aaron.
like that. Oh,
Oh,
well,
how about
okay.
just get it all? Toy, Honitsu, and the Dora.
I mean, yes, if you can. So we haven't talked much about this block, but the 6 is dead, the 2's dead. It's just the 3, so banking on the power of Sanzo.
There are
And
3
there are
Sanzo on the
3 of
wall.
them, so it's a very good potential block to fill. And Peter doesn't look to be fighting it. Viet, of course, is going to shove almost anything at this position, and Barry looking for an excuse to get back in, is how that looks.
Yeah, Ishanten. Don't really want to drop any pin tiles, though.
Well, we're about to see how committed he is. Could also cut the 5-3 here, and we'll at least start with the 3, because it came out from Peter. It had already been cleared. 5 is also safe.
Yeah, has to consider the possibility that Viet worked towards Tempai, but does estimate that it's safe enough.
Oh, and there's that last Hatsu, so Viet's sure not getting it.
Well, that's Tempai for Barry if he wants to jam a 2-pin.
I'd take it. Suji against both. Doesn't want it, though. Also a little scared of Viet here. Because you had the pair cut and then a Tadashi from someone who's obviously just pushing.
Well, that's
Can you cut the 8 and keep Tempai there? Let me see.
not quite.
No, that's not Tempai. So the end result is Aaron gets a net of 2,000 off of that, which I think is worth more than that hand was.
Yeah, importantly, making everyone play around. The dealer as well as the Ricci gave no one any hope to make progress.
Yeah, well, everyone was kind of wondering where are the Hatsu, especially Barry wondering that. But we look at this hand dealer as a nice little 1-2-3 Sanchoku developing. Although you can just go Itzu here, I think 6-0 is much more normal here. But also hedging the 6-7-8 Sanchoku with this cut. Doesn't really like the Penchant. Uh, on the right, we have potential Itzu in So with a 1-3-3 5-7 8, 8, 9. So it needs the 2, 4, and 6. It's going to take some work. Also, as a floating Hatsudora, we get it again. Across the way, maybe a Tanya if you got the 9-7. We'll see how this hand gets played. I would cut the 9 here. The most efficient play, I believe, is the 5 so. But I just feel you're losing on too much value if you don't go Tanya with this.
Yeah, and Aaron's taking his time to think about this. Goes to the 7, so holding maximum blocks
Technically
here.
keeps the Ishan 10.
Oh, hey, hold on a second. Big draw for Peter. Had the Itsu chance, but says, you know what? I like my shapes better. We're going to go for Pinfu.
Yeah, it just goes for the pinfu here. Plus, there's already a 3-pin out at this point, so it doesn't necessarily look that great. But dealer Ichi pinfu plus 1300 in the middle is certainly reasonable. And on the left, Viet needs a 5 so badly, and would actually be Tempai needs a 5 so and 7 pin.
It's going to be very funny if Peter draws Tempai on the 6-9 Mon, Ricci's with a 2 so, and it has 1-2 Mon cut, 1-2 pin cut, and then a 2 so cut waiting on the 1 so. I'm rooting for the 9 Mon draw. Just for the aesthetics.
Well, it's definitely a I don't want Sanchugu play. Ooh, interesting situation here from Barry. Goes and Damas this, looking for the Tanya Sanchugu upgrade.
Yeah, it's a 3-hunt upgrade. Makes sense. Even if it's just one tile that you're looking for.
And you know, Barry does not take the obligatory 1-turn wait Ricci.
Yeah, even if 3-pin is a good tile.
Well, you're not sure it's a good tile because you really don't know what Viet has here. It doesn't look that bad against Peter, and it doesn't look that bad against Aaron. Aaron, interestingly, though, has 2. That's not what I would expect with the early 3-pin cut.
For sure. Also, 3 of the door have come out. So all 4 of the door, rather, have come out. So no one is going to be playing that shape.
Well, there's our 3 interesting blocks there. 5, 5,
Gee.
5, 5, 4. And just going to go ahead and call this down for the Tanyao. Potential Sanchku if you went on 3 so. Of course, all the 3 so are currently being used.
Little hesitation. Is this 6-7-8 or is this 7-8-9? But Barry sticks with the plan because 6-7-8 has more value.
Oh, there's the 5. That's going to deal in. Just the 1300. Barry's probably fine with that. But we move to East 3. Barry with a Pinfu Tanya type hand, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanjkud eventually. Also has a bunch of honors to get rid of. On the right, maybe an Itsu in Pin. Shapes aren't that great. Ryankan, Kanchan, and then in Pinzu 1, 3, 4, 6, 8. 5 pin is Dora. Across the way. Eh.
2
Maybe a
Dora.
Pinfu, but you have 2 Dora. You look for anything to pair up, like a West Yakuai, ideally. Now it's definitely a call and go. And on the left, we have a potential 7-8-9 Sponjku, but with a 4-6-9 in Mon, needs the 9 sooner rather than later. And a Shaw is drawn into Peter's hand that's going to come out fairly soon and put Viet in a very good position.
Yeah, it was going to be really interesting to see how Viet played the hand if he continued to draw floating tiles but not pair up the Yakuhai, as is
Oh,
with the
just get a
West
third
pair.
Dora.
Yeah, now the hand's really straightforward.
Boom.
There it is. You're just waiting 1-4. And I don't, whoever it is just going to go, huh?
Yeah, the
Those
unfortunate
feelings where you
soul.
just stare at it and there's nothing you can do about it.
He draws the 1 Mon. I guess Barry can kind of use a 1 Mon, but he doesn't really want to.
Well, he may have an excuse to cut away from the Penchant block here if it comes, but no, the question is it going to come out for Peter here? No, it goes ahead and cuts the 3. You have this 4-6 block you're not that thrilled with.
Yeah, but I guess that's a Tanya block, so if you can slide the 7-8-9 down to a 6-7-8, maybe
Ooh,
Give some
interesting
calling
option for
options.
Barry. Can't cut the pin chun here. I feel the 9 so is much more normal than the 8 so.
Because we can still draw the
Because if you draw
7.
this, yeah, exactly. If you draw the 7, you just have Onko and completed run. That 4 is going to fit in
Sumo.
nicely, but he says, I'll draw it myself, thanks. Shaw, Dora 3, Via jumps out into the lead here with a Mungan Sumo. We are in East 4 now. Aaron with Pinfu type hands, maybe a Chanta type shift later. Maybe a 79 Sanchiku on the right. South pair, Chun pair, floating Dora. I don't need to see anything more than that. I'm looking for excuses to hit shiny buttons. Across the way, feels like a Tanyao type shape. You have the 5, 6, 7, 8 in Mon, but really that 8, 8, 6, 6 so pushes you towards just going for Tanyao. It's really hard to build too much because your big upgrade is the 7 so, and you're going to need a second one of those. Maybe if you go Chitoy. Speaking of Chitoy, you have a couple pairs. Like if that's now an Onko there with the 1 so
Pump.
on the left, may go Honitsu, but as a Dora, so seems unlikely. Looking to call the East pair. We see the 9 pin has been pulled on the right, just trying to get that 5 pin
Pump.
or a Dora pair up, and maybe even go Honitsu now. With that call, I'd probably go Honitsu. I got the 5, 6. I don't hate the Hatsu, though. And yeah, Viet says, if we draw the 5, then maybe, but for now, it's fine. Oh, well, now
Oh,
I definitely cut 5, 6. You just have to, don't you?
I
It'd
think
be
Viet's gonna
so
cut the
sad to
4.
win. Oh, boo!
Yeah,
I
this
mean, this is going to like almost always win because it's such a disgusting weight with that pawn, but at the same time, there's a lot of value potential.
Don't.
And there should be the deal in.
yeah, this feels like the way a bot might play it, which is not surprising. When I say a bot, I mean, one of the strong AIs.
Well, we advertised this as the Snake Shack matchup, so you may see some bot style plays, and that definitely felt like one of them. Viet, of course, writes a blog involving AIs such as Super Phoenix and especially Naga, and will be dealer here with a Pinfu, maybe an Itsu type hand. 6 pin would really help. 8 Mon would really help. On the right, we have a similarly standard Pinfu type hand. Possibly Peiko with a 5, 6 Mon draw. Also going to accept a Dora there 4 so. Speaking of Dora, we have 2 of them across the way. And that definitely feels like a call and go hand. The only problem
Pump.
is you're potentially Ochizuki if you open for Tanyao with that 2, 3 pin block. On the left, we have the South Hon, probably going Honitsu.
And especially as his hand becomes more Pinzu Honitsu in appearance, Barry might be less inclined to call open Otosuke for that 4 pin because that is the Honitsu suit. It's a reasonable chance that Aaron might be holding a couple of those. Turns out it's Peter who's holding the pair of 4 pins, though.
We see the 8 so is not called immediately by Barry. And especially here when you're starting to wonder, is that Honitsu on my right? Or which is our left? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so now Barry has some incentive to just cut the 3-2 pin and aim for a Tanyao in.
Well, you also don't want to give Aaron Tempai, so maybe holding it specifically for that reason.
Right, and now he has to make the choice,
Pump.
but
But
does
there
end
it
up cutting
is. Now we have an interesting choice here. We'll take the Shumpon Haku 9 pin.
Yeah, a little extra value here with the Haku win for the Mangan.
Of course, a 9 pin sumo would also be extra foo.
9
I
pin bad
believe this
tile.
is extra with a Roan, and Viet hates it because that is overflow with a 5 cut. And says, not yet. May if we draw a 4 pin, sure, we probably slam it, but not yet. Yeah, a 9 pin deal in would be 5200
Pump.
because you have the Haku pair.
As expected, Barry getting the pull and call for Tempai. Tanya door 2.
Just looking for 5, 8 so.
All those 5s and 8s came out so
Well,
early.
there's the 9,
Don't.
and Peter, on the other hand, just shoves it and deals in. And 5200 there. Aaron will definitely take that, and we'll move to South 2.
All right, but Peter will have the dealership here. It's a tight race for 3rd and 4th. And dealership always
Oh,
a scary thing.
Tudora. Not too much to think about this. Probably just going to stay closed. Maybe some sort of weird 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku if you draw in upper Manzu like that.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're probably going to cut this 4 Mon pair to get there. On the right, Pin Futai Pen, maybe a 2-3-4 or 1-2-3 Sanchoku developing. Of course, you'd love Dora there to pull that shift off with a 1-so. But with that 9-pin seems unlikely. Across the way, Sha Anko, that is, of course, a Yakuhai for Aaron. Decent shapes, but floaters all over the place. Floating 5 with an 8 pair, floating 2. And then a Ryanman with a 7-8, but also a 5 pair. And on the right, we just have Dama for nothing. Desperately hoping to draw Dora here and turns into Richi's Sanchoku Dora. On the left, also really close. That's Ishunten as well. That would at least have Richi Dora 1.
Yeah, Barry, of course, holding the Dama, looking for Sanchoku again. In this case, it'd be...
Oh, Dama Sanchoku for dealer now. Sanchoku Dora 2.
Oh, it comes
And
out!
there it
Go.
goes!
Yeah, you never expect to see this happen, but it's Peter's dealership. He always gets these.
Yeah, and I say Peter will
Boom.
absolutely Dama those. I think that's a perfectly legitimate Dama. It's a
Absolutely.
bad weight. It's fairly likely to come out, and you have Mongons. So a lot of the benefits of Richi aren't necessarily there. You want people shoving against that head.
That's a big swing in points, too. Peter all the way up into second place. And might not be done
Yeah,
with things
kind of
yet.
falling off, especially after that first game, is now back in the
Boom.
fight for things. There's 2 Dora here. The rest of the shapes are pretty good. Now potential Ipeco upgrade, Richi, Pinfu, Ipeco, Dora 2. On the right, we have also a pretty nice set of blocks. Pairs all over the place. Yeah, there's that Ipeco I talked about. Locks in the 2-mon pair. Across the way, Chun pair can kind of call and go. Shapes aren't great, though. And on the left, we see Double Yako has been called with the south and the north. You think, okay, what's the Honitsu? And from that discard pond, you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Instead, it's a hand that just has another Dora floating around in it.
Yeah, interesting choice by Peter to cut the 3 mon versus the 5 pin. Choosing to support the central block instead of playing for the Class A diamond. Waiting 1-4 mon.
Well, just happens to know that there are 3 of them from Barry.
Well, Barry's got...
7, so that's a fill. I mean, that's a really awkward shape. Yeah, I like the 1-so cut here. You can always just call it down for Tanya if you're looking for the Sun Anko.
The greedy play is cut 4-so and hedge Suanko.
Yeah, but that's potentially Cheetoy, and
Yeet.
that's
Oh.
never acceptable.
Well, here's
Well,
that
this is going to be a
Tanya.
Riti Tanya possible Sun Anko. Of course, we know the 7-so are dead, and the 6-pin are also dead.
Oh, and Tenpai
And
from
this
Peter.
is going to get punished. Will Dama...
Boom.
Oh, misses out on the Ipatu. This is the other end of the whole... Do we reach or do we Dama? Especially if someone's already at Richi, I always go for the kill.
In this case, that's going to put Peter into first. Just back-to-back dealer wins. And this could be another one even. A Haku pair to start. Maybe you could think about a Honitsu in the Monzu, but that 3-pin fill is going to move us away from
Yeah,
that
now
direction.
you're just looking for a regular, relatively cheap hand, most likely. Although we've seen from Peter's sets, he doesn't call nearly as much as most people in A1. But hey, if you get hands like this, you don't need to call anything. On the right, potential Itsu in So. Maybe, of course, you have that 2-so, which fits in nice with the hand, a floating 4-pin as well. Distant 4-5-6 Sanchoku. I see emphasize distant there. Across the way, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanchoku. And that 2-mon will also fit in fairly well with the Montu shape, giving that a 2-3-4-5. On the left, 7-8 on Sancho seems to be the play, but it just feels really slow. And regardless of what you're looking at, it doesn't really matter if Peter just gets like another Haku or even a 4-pin or something.
Yeah,
Gee.
I don't think we're going to see Atosge here with something like 3-pin call or 3-mon or 4-mon.
Well, Viet, on the other hand, just locks in the potential Sancho here.
Kind of headless with these shapes, but that's totally fine because you have 2 Kanchan shapes. You want one of those to become your head anyway.
And that's something I think a lot of intermediate players especially aren't really used to, is the concept that if I have 2 Kanchan blocks, I want to be headless because then I have 4 more pair candidates. Oh,
Boom.
well, that's just going to be a Dom on her own. Ipeco Tanya, not that bad a deal in, but this table is just Dama heavy. Excuse me while I go take a shower for the next hour.
Yeah, Aaron just got tapped by there. The Forso had just come out from Viet 2. He draws another one, and instantly the follow cut leads to a deal, and not much to do there.
All right, Barry with potential Chanta upgrades. One mon would actually be a really nice draw. Of course, you never really think about it with a 2/2/4, but the rest of the shape, it just fits in so nicely here. Instead, pairs up the 3-so. On the right, I mean, there are pairs, and that's about it. So it's either Chinitsu or it's Jitoi. Across the way, we have the West pair and a floating Hatsudora. So I imagine that's a call, maybe play for Dora Tonki or some sort of other value there. On the left, we have the Haku pair up. Haku's also Dora indicator, so you have to, if one comes out, you have to call it if you want to use that as your Yaku high. The rest of the blocks are okay, but nothing that fancy. 4-pin or 7-pin would give possibly Peiko, though.
Yeah, that was an awkward draw of the 7-pin for Barry. Drew into 4 pairs and says, you know what? I can do better than Chitoi. We'll play for the outside chance at a Chanta, holding that 9, so just in case.
Well, speaking of Ipeco, Aaron draws a tile for it and immediately throws it back.
Ooh, 8-mon had come out only once, so really seems to be committed to the Chitoi
I would
idea.
cut 4 on here.
Seems to make sense.
I want to go Chanta with this. Nope,
Hmm.
throws the 8-so back.
It doesn't necessarily give up on the 1, 2, 3 Sanchogo either. You can still draw 1-mon, 3-mon. And even if you draw the 3-mon first, Hoodie-Ted, you can still call the 1-mon back, so I wonder what Barry has in mind here. Maybe just hoping to
I
keep
may
the shapes as
also
they
just be
are.
thinking we're at the end of row 1. Maybe we just don't keep 6 blocks, but that was probably the plan, was draw something like the 5-mon. That's about the only tile the 4 helps you with.
Even then, it gives us an opportunity to cut. Well, never mind. Forget that. We're just gonna go pay
Yeah,
pay.
okay, manages to just draw perfectly into potential Ricci Pinfu. I guess that's where Barry was going with this.
Keep in mind, the Dora Hatsu has just gotten paired up by Viet, who also has the West pair.
Yeah, you could just call either of them and throw the other one back. This 3 has to go down because you have the 1 and the 4 in the discard. So as a realm, it's not that
Each.
great. But there's our dealer Ricci waiting on 3/6-mon. We see not that many tiles light up. There are 5 left in the wall here.
But almost all of Viet's callable tiles are in the wall too. Oh, that's not the one you wanted.
Yep, just getting
C.
out of here. Figure this hand's too far back. On the other hand, Peter says, you know what, I'll fight with this.
Netue has Haku Haku to pass, so hoping to be able to work around this. Also 8-so, 3-so, plenty of safe tiles here. Peter can give it a chance. 1-so's even Sotogawa here.
Yeah, I feel like you really have to draw 6-so to progress this hand, though. And there goes the 6-so. And I go Dora draw, and you're probably just out.
Yeah. Viet wants nothing to do with this last place Ricci. We'll go Shaw Shaw instead of calling and giving it a look. At least if the Hatsu came out, he'd probably call it because he has West-West cut, but
Sumo.
There's the Sumo, Ricci Sumo Pinfu. 3,900. Of course, an Uro would double it, but we'll get the 3,900 and the Reach Stick back, of course. So we have South 3-1. And immediately fills one of those Ryanmen. This is technically Ishun 10.
Mm.
You're hoping for a little more value than that, but hey, if you get a turn 2 or 3 Ricci, you can always just slam it. On the right, we have a Hatsu pair. Can potentially accept a Dora, has a 1-so floater there. Across the way, we have Shaw pair. That is, of course, the Yakuhai as mentioned last hand. The rest of the shapes, though, are kind of a mess. How many Kanchans? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a Penchon. And Chun pair on the
Home.
left. Also reasonably close. Desperately needs the 2-so Dora indicator, though. Or, of course, preferably just pair up the Dora.
yeah, drawing Dora will absolutely work here. But eyes on Barry now. And Ijanten for turn 1.
Not Viet pulls a Dora in. Doesn't really fit in the hand, but you can't just get rid of it here. Ishunten on the left needs the Chun and the 2-so.
Yeah, even the 8 mod gives Tempai or the 7 mod. I wonder if Peter will
Oh,
just slam
there's an
that.
Epeco upgrade for Barry. Decides to get rid of the 4, so it doesn't want to float it any longer. Oh, that's again, this is a Peter just Dama. Figures I'm in first place. There's no reason to get myself in trouble.
But he might just Ricci.
And it may be the one turn Ricci. We'll see.
Yeah, he does it occasionally.
Each.
And yeah, that's the play. So it is a 7-mon Chun Ricci. Both Chun are in the wall, and one 7-mon's in the wall. This is Ricci, Dora, possibly Chun.
Nope, Chun. I think
There's
Barry's
one of
gonna
them.
fight a little bit.
And there it
Boom.
goes. Doesn't get the Apatsu, but I feel even if he reached immediately, that would have come out. Ricci, Chun, Dora, no Ura, but we'll extend the lead there for Peter to 45,000 now in all last. We see the Chun pair here up for Aaron, and it's Dora, so that always makes it a little more valuable. We have a loose Chun there on the right for Viet, so I guess that's really the big sticking point of the hand, is does that ever come out?
Looking at these shapes, it has potential to come out. He's probably gonna float it for a little bit, but
Yeah, could even cut 4-pin here. It feels
mhm.
weak, though. I'm not sure what you got. There it
Oh,
goes.
just throws it immediately. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not that surprised by that cut. He's floating it to the 4-pin's a decent tile out there. And it's one of those, as long as dealer doesn't call it, you just want it gone.
right.
And unfortunately, dealer called it though. So now everyone's kind of squeamish.
Chi.
Peter, of course, has a potential Tanya, maybe an Ipeco there. 4-pin would really help. Another call for dealer. Now Ishan Tenryan Raman needs 1 4-pin and 4 7. So on the left, there's a potentially Peco in So with a 6-0 or 9-0 draw, but honestly, that hand should just give up.
Chi.
Yeah, everyone is going as quickly as they can to shut this down before it gets Tempai. Aaron Ishanten, but Peter's already there with an 8-pin Tonki.
Senpai on the right for 3-mon, and yeah, 3-6 across the way. So we have 2 players Tempai. Neither of them are dealer.
They're all going to be jamming. We'll see if Aaron can get to Tempai first.
Got upgrades to headless with an Onko. And this 2-5
Ooh.
is actually really weak, but the
Boom.
3 will deal in for the Itsu, and that's just the end of the game.
Yeah, Viet shutting down a
And
monk on
Aaron's
hand.
probably showing what just happened, but oh well. Peter picks up the win here, 30.1, makes back a bunch of the points from the first game. Viet gets a plus 9.5, helps himself a little bit more. Same position was last game. In third, we have Aaron minus 9.6 is loses some of the points from the first game, and Barry, definitely one who's been hit the hardest this series, and drops down into the negatives, although not in any immediate danger. And wow, okay, those were exciting games.
Yes, lots of swingy action. I mean, everyone was fighting for their hands quite well. There were some ridiculous iPie though that were a lot of fun to watch. I think Peter sits about where he was at the start of the series, and Aaron in the top 4 as well. Viet improves slightly from negative 0.8 up to 19.5, and Barry drops down a bit. But that was a very closely contested series and highly entertaining. And they will be playing again, I believe, next Monday. So hopefully we'll get a chance to continue the series because I quite enjoyed the gameplay.
Okay, well, I see 2 games. Let's go with the one that just started in C1, mainly because I don't want to have to cast the JT TJ game.
Good luck to both players, of course, but it does make it rather difficult. Hey, I heard there was even the possibility of potentially a JT, TJ, and another JT table that we're avoiding.
I'm sure you will enjoy casting it. I will not.
We might have to find another system for that.
This
One,
is Junuo, Alex, Aiden, and Tellison.
yeah, Taliesin I think was hopping in last season as a substitute player, so thanks to them for that. And now they get to their opportunity as a full-blown member of C1. In just a moment, I'll have the game loaded. Excited to see some of these players. I don't think we've cast most of these players from C1. We're gonna get our opportunity today.
All right, there's Junuo, who's dealer here. Currently Ishan 10. Could potentially upgrade to the 3-4 for the
Dong.
Sanshku, but that 5 is going to deal in here on the right. And that's going to be a double south win. Oh, no, south Dora. You say, why is it double south and east 1? Well, that's why.
But just seeing that cut already gives me good thoughts about this first dealers. You know, first time I've seen them play, but already keep in mind the possibility of Sancho can hold and still hedging the good shape. I really like that move, even if it did deal in.
All right, Alex's dealer here has kind of an Itsu option in 2 different suits. Neither that strong, but it's one where you see if you draw. And now you're just like, do I have to? It draws the door indicator, maybe some sort of 4-5-6 Sanshku eventually. On the right, Pinfu, 3 so would really help. Also has a floating Dora here. Connected to Dora, always useful. Across the way, Pinfu hand, mediocre, 2 so would really help. Maybe an Itsu in so. And on the left, Haku pair, and not too much else. Can accept a Dora, but just there's too many pairs here. So a whole bunch of mediocre to bad hands.
Quick comment here. Obi, the current dealer, fairly regular commentator on these broadcasts. Usually hops in on the Wednesday stream. Hopped in on last or on this week's Monday stream even. But because he was playing today, he didn't get the opportunity to cast today. So we get to watch him instead.
So I mean, that means we're supposed to extra grief him in the commentary.
Something like that, of course.
All right. Well, there's our Fomon has been pulling on the left, just going Haku Otazuke most likely. Could potentially turn into a Tanyao.
Yeah, it's your last chance to call that 4-month. So if you want it, you better call it net or take it now.
Well, the other thing is that means that Formon's going to be pretty worthless to everyone else now. Now the Dora has to connect to the 6-7 or be paired / oncode. And there it goes.
Just as you
dealing
said,
with the Dora.
Aiden was holding for the 789 Sanchoku, so the Dora had a little less utility, especially with those Formon cut. And Juno happened to already be Tempai, so picks up 2K.
Oh, all right. Aiden dealer here. Potential Itsu also has a Dora. Now pair up with the 1-mon, so you're really hoping to draw 7, so 3-pin would be okay, but you really want the Itsu here. Oh, and that 7's so sad after having cut the 8, but not much you do about it at this point. On the right, kind of a pin foo, but you have 2 Dora. 4-pin would actually be a really nice draw. Then you just say, forget it, I'm going Tanyao. And that 7-pin is really ugly because now you're likely to cut the Dora. That's one of those where it's like, yeah, it improves the head, but do I have to? Across the way, 4 pairs, possibly Peiko, possible door acceptance, reasonable hand there. And on the left, Tanyao. Shapes aren't great, but you may be able to call it down with, say, a 6-so to really help this hand. 4-so, Puln. You can also, of course, accept a Dora. You have the 2-4, so it could be 2-4-6, or the 7-8-8, so it could be the 6 on that end as well.
This hand for the dealer has made some really interesting moves. Of course, the 8-mon early cut backfired with a 7. Then he drew the 5-mon. I was like, all right, I'll keep a 5 over 2. Pairs up the 5-mon, so drops 1-mon instead for Tanyao. And now we're in this really interesting spot where you might even prefer the Shabo, but I imagine he'll cut one of the pairs for Pingfu.
Yeah, it goes in and fills the 3-pin there. Nice pickup for Aiden. Now Ishan 10 for potentially Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, possibly Tanyao.
And if you can draw the pin tile into Tempai, it really looks like you've got a pin weight, but actually he'll be waiting 1-4, so in that case.
Interesting chi there by Alex. Is going to need another 4-7. That's usually not the call you're going to make there because it's really hard to use.
Yeah,
but just draw the 6. That solves the problem.
6-0 bails out that issue. Now you can just get 5-8 a second time. Ooh, that's Tempai. Really nice weight here.
1-1. I think you have to just take it.
Well, Dama 2
Nope,
so instead.
Dama is looking for some sort of upgrade.
1
1-1 is good enough in my mind to slam the Ricci, but we have a Talias and Ricci, and now Tuso's Gembutsu. Alex might just drop this out, but starts with the 4-mon.
Sumo.
Yeah, Dizzy Peiko. And just did an Ipotsumo, Ricci Ipotsu Sumo, Pinfu, Dora 2. That's Hanemon minimum. No aura, but a huge pickup there for Taliesin.
Oh man, after seeing that, if when you
Out.
look at the log, you're like, I should have dropped the Tuso and dealt into the 1300.
Yeah, certainly cheaper than paying out Hanuman, especially even if you're not dealer.
Big
It's still
win.
not that cheap to take it.
Yeah, big win for Taliesin though.
All right, we'll be dealer here as a result of that. Moving the hand around. Has a few blocks. I'm trying to describe how to look at this head, and I don't really know because it needs Dora, but at the same time has that floating 5, which is over. Oh, just draw the 8 and then the 5. That works. And now you've been dreaming of a potential Sunscrew Doko on the 5s with those fills. Can't complain about that. Oh, and now you do complain about that 7 pin because you had a potential Itsu, non-Itsu, Ipeko, potential Dora acceptance. Oh, the 9 pin feels so bad as a discard now. But nothing you do about it. On the right, we have a whole bunch of Mon tiles, maybe even Chinitsu worth across the way. The 6 pins are going to fit in nicely there for a Dora acceptance, potential Richi Pinfu Dora. And on the left, we have the Hatsu Pon and Ishan 10. No real value here, though.
Oh, and there's that 8-pin draw. Oh, we're gonna get
Oh, you're
punished.
so sad. And it's very tense. Says, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
we
in
just
the
take it.
wall. I'm just going to draw it.
And there are 3 tiles in the wall for this weight, so we could. Most of them are 9 pins. We could draw it back for Ipeko Dora 2.
2 9s, 1 6. This is Richi, Sumo, Dora 2, possibly Peiko. And the 6 deals down on the Patsu to Furry 10, so no one cares. But the 1 cuts the pair. First time it clears, second time it doesn't. And the rest of the table says, you know what? I guess that's fine. All right, we're in South 1. This is Junuo's hand. 5 Mon would really help. 8 Pin would really help. Looks like a Richi Dora. Maybe Pinfu. Maybe pull in a second Dora. Maybe even a potential 1 3 Sanshigu now, or 2 3 4 with another shift. On the right, a Tanyo type hand. You'd have the 2 9s. Don't look for any excuse to get rid of them with the rest of these blocks. Especially if you get the Peiko. But if you draw the 8, I guess you just use it as is. Across the way, we have kind of a Pinfu type hand there as well. We have the North pair and the 5-so pair. You're looking to draw maybe 4-so or 6-so and slim that down. And on the left, a whole bunch of So tiles. May just go Chinitsu for this.
I do like the idea of Chinitsu, but 3-pin next to 5-pin, we'll see how much Taliesin wants to commit. As his little shapes are really flexible, and we're going to have an early Regi from Aiden.
Oh, yeah, and just waits on North 5-so. This is one where you draw the North, deal it, and go, huh?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be waiting on that. That's not your wind. It's once cut.
I mean, it's a funny wait because if you're this person sitting on it, but it's a depressing one for everyone else. So you get the extra bonus of emotional damage.
Yeah, I wonder if there's ever a world where you cut the 5-so instead and just float the 6-pin and the 5-so as potential Pinfu tiles. I think this early you just slam the Ricci,
if
but
you were going to do that, you could have held the 8-so and maybe hedged for Itsu.
Or the 8-mon, yeah.
Yeah, the 8-mon.
And with the 4-pin cut, even the 6-pin floater isn't as good as it usually is.
You're going to be a lot of furries in here. And if the 9 had been drawn, and then the 5, you'd have ended up on the 4-7 furry 10 anyway. And we just had one of those furry 10 hands, and that didn't work out at all.
No. Not to say that you should necessarily be afraid of 50
that would have. That one would have.
Nah, this guy. I always slam this Ricci anyway. We're just waiting to see when the pay gets drawn, because really it's not an if the pay deals. It's kind of like when, as long as it gets drawn.
Yes, can't always be in the dead wall, and that's always depressing. You have this brilliant wait, and then the wall says, "Nope, it's dead."
Nope, you'll never see it. Dealer's been trying to play here. Hasn't really had to push a lot of tiles. So
I'm mildly surprised that 5-pin wasn't called. I definitely would have taken it and cut the 1-mon. Probably just doesn't like the 6, but considering the 9's already come out, it's not that bad. And there goes Adora. This is what? Ricci.
6-9.
Oh, well, it's Ipatsu. That's easy enough to read.
Yeah, just Ricci Ipatsu.
Yeah, no Ura. Get the sticks, and we'll just move it along.
All right, Alex has the dealership now. Not bad.
And the hand looks good, and then you have all the extra honors on the right you just want to get rid of.
You move your mouse to the east, you close your eyes, and you click 4 times, and then you open your eyes and see what your hand is afterwards.
Yeah, until the hand shifts and where that east was, now you just cut 5-so, and then you cut 4-so. Also, I have seen people do this. It's utterly hilarious when they reopen their eyes and go,
Okay,
wait,
okay,
what?
okay. You move your hand all the way to the right and you click 4 times. That
There
there's no
you go.
punishment.
Yeah. All right. On the right, we have potential Honetsu in So. Across the way, we see the 8-pin Chi looking for the Hatsu there. Not too much value, but look for speed. And on the left, that feels like a Junchun Sanjuku play.
Yeah, relatively straightforward hands. I really like the hand on the left, Junchan Sanchoku. Always a fantastic hand. Probably
Well,
not
1
even get
now
Sanchoku now.
technically Tempai. I don't like this Ricci. I would cut the 7-pin.
It is a really strong weight though. The 3-pin almost never deals into the shape, right?
Oh, it definitely feels like it has a good win rate, but at the same time, you're at 25 and first is so far off. You also have the potential of upgrades around Dora if you want to abandon the Junchan and the Penchun altogether.
Yeah, the fact that it's so early means that we can easily pull an 8-pin, 3-pin, 1-pin, 9-pin. All those tiles will give you Junchan Tempai, which is so much more value. It's a Manga instead of Richi Nomi. So holding off on the Richi seems good, but would not have drawn anything useful
Hasn't
as we can
drawn
see.
anything at this point. There's the Chun. It does get passed, interestingly. Doesn't really want to throw the 6-mon Dora into the Ricci. Ah, there's your 8. That was Tempai.
Although maybe if there wasn't a
It'd be
Richi, the shoot would have
headless
been
at this
called.
point. Right.
Even
Yeah, you'd
without
just be waiting. Well, the problem is you'd be waiting. I guess you'd cut the 9-so and wait 3-pin here.
even without
So, yeah.
calling, Aiden has found Ishantan, so some serious value potential here.
9 is Suji. There it goes. Oh, well, that's a fill.
Is it time to give up on the Chi toy?
It's always time to give up on the G-Toy.
We'll be relying on the Haku or the Chun to come out a second time.
4-mon is one of the more dangerous tiles, but off it goes.
1
There's a Ricci from dealer and draws the 3-pin and gets out of there. Says, I don't want to throw the Suji. Oh,
Boom.
and hits Ipatsu as a result. Ricci Ipatsu is going to be an Ipatsu. The question was, would Aiden deal into it? Dodges it very deftly. It was Suji to both. And the result is Alex picks it up. And we'll get back over 30K as a result.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how confidently he dodged the Ipatsu because, as you said, it was Suji to both. That's with the amount of value that he had in his hand too. I wouldn't have been surprised to see someone jam it, but confidently cutting Haku Haku and dodging the Ipatsu deal-in as a result. Or I guess it was Ipatsu for the 3-pin cut, but dodges the deal-in.
One Ipatsu, and we got another one. But the result is Alex get a repeat here. South 2-1. Kind of a Pinfu hand, couple Pinchon. The hand's not that great. Maybe a Peiko and Pin. On the right, we have maybe a Tanyao. I'm looking for any excuse to turn that into Ricci Pinfu Tanyao. We have a 4-5-8-8-9 and then a 7-7-9. In Pin across the way, we have definitely a Tanyao hand, unless you draw 9-so, then you're just sad. But 6-so is the perfect draw. Now perfect Ishanten for Ricci or Ricci Tanyao. On the left, we have potential 7-8-9 Sonshogu. The rest of the shapes look pretty locked in at this point, so value there, but needs the 7-so and 8-pin.
Taliesin keeps
And just
getting.
throws the 6. Says, now it is Sonshogu. I do not care to take my shape upgrade.
Yeah, as well for Toyman, that was a chance to take the perfect Ishanten, but through the 5-pin it says in like the 4-pin or the 5-mon. Really, I think hoping to work this towards 4-5-6 Sanchoku.
Well, interesting cut there from Alex. He goes and cuts the Riadman because, of course, you did have the 9-so, so it would have been 4-8-10, and can work this in towards Inipeko here with the 1-2-2-3-4-4.
Well, speaking about Ipeko, again, Taliesin with the 8-so draw could have cut the 5-so for Ipeko lock-in into Ishanten. As is, cutting the extra pair in the hand means that if you find Tempa, you're forced to reach it with a 7, so never going to get Ipeko. There is a a
You
world
lose a
where
little bit of value, but you do gain the ability to lock in the Tanyao.
right.
Oh,
Okay.
nope, says never mind.
Yeah, we'll put that back as a possibility. There was also a late shift if you draw cutting away from the Chuso and using the Chuso as the pair. But that would have been a lot harder to pull together.
They have Ishunten for that Richi, Sanchiku, maybe Pinfu on the left. Silvermon doesn't really help the deal here. Also has this door to get rid of at some point. Could just call this down for the Tanyao.
Yeah, I'll
But I don't
pass.
know why. Yeah, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't actually make it any easier. So you see the pause on it and says, wait, why am I doing this? And passes.
Huh.
Oh, well, that would have been the 7. That could have been
1.
Tempai. And that is Tempai on the left, but it's the cheap end. Now you just have Richinomi on 6-9 Mon. You see 4 out, 2 in hands. That means 2 of the wall.
Oh, and Alex was cutting away from a pair. Holds off on the second one. Doesn't deal in just yet.
And we just see Dora getting pushed on the Ipatsu into North player. That's an aggressive shove.
Mm.
1.
Aiden clearly did not believe that's where the goods were. Now you do have a very loose 9 Mon across the way from Taliesin that just feels like it's going to deal in eventually.
Yeah, dodge the Ipatsu turn with the 8-so cut, but the 3 Pinchi kind of makes it look like he wants K10 here, or maybe even to actually play for this hand. If he gets a so call.
Could she this for Tanya? Would have to throw the 7-punch dollars.
Gee.
Doesn't feel that bad to me.
I'll take it.
There it is, waiting on 3-6.
4.
There's the 9. We'll deal in Richinomi. See if you get an Aura. Nope, it is just a Richinomi. And we're in South 3.
Aiden's turn at the helm.
And a couple pairs. The hand's just a mess. You have decent floaters, but not much else. The So block is clearly the best of the bunch at 1-1-3-3-4-7, where 5 is Dora, but it's just not that good a hand. And speaking of not good hands, that Chitoi Ishunten on the right, always a miserable hand that you'd ever want. There are some people who approve of Chitoi. I am not one of them. Across the way, we have a Pinfu, maybe a 1-2-3 Sanchiku type hand. On the left, we have a regular Pinfu type hand. Can accept a Dora. A 5-pin would really help this hand out. 6-mon would also boost it quite a bit.
Yeah, and for Aiden, there are worlds where
Boom.
this leads to Chitoi 2. Taliesin
Oh,
apparently
we
not.
Toy Toy play there on the right. So Taliesin says, you know what? We're not going to play it the way we expect. We're just going to go for the basic Toy Toy. Maybe Sananko off of this.
Yeah, I had drawn the form on Anko, and that gave an opportunity to move away from Chitoi.
And only needing a couple 8s, that's a very reasonable play here. Plus, again, if you call the West, everyone goes, what?
Right, they probably figure out it's Toy Toy, but then your weight could be anything. In the meantime, that's Tempai for Juno waiting on the 3
1.
Mon. Will slam it.
Goes ahead and takes the Ricci here. This is Ricci Ipeco
Gee.
Dora 2.
Long gone value. 3 Mon just came out. Still 2 left in the wall.
And this is the other side of it is you don't give any information to this table at all about what your blocks are.
And even if you
With
had
that
information,
pawn.
this table's
Boom.
been showing that they like to fight.
Tanya Ishunten on the left.
That 5 Mon Poland kind of splits that suit in half. So we'll see how the table reacts to that.
Tempai on the left now.
Boom.
I imagine that definitely has to be taken. Yeah, waiting 2-5-so. 5-so is Dora, also potentially Changkon,
Hmm.
which is the funniest way to win, but will deal in probably for Mungon. Does not like the
Boom.
tile, hesitates, but eventually throws it and deals in. Ricci Pego Dora 2. Potential for a bunch of Ura, and there are 3. So Ura-san turns that into a Hanemon deal in, and a huge boost there for Junuo, who jumps back over 30k and into a solid second place. And now we have a dogfight for third.
Oh, it's going to be a tense one here. I'm looking at those two Hypai, Aiden and Alex. I'm not seeing... Aiden maybe stands out a little bit more because it's callable. It's going to be tough for Alex to put them together now.
Yeah, I feel Aiden's in the strong position here with the Chun pair, especially with the loose one from the dealer. Taliesin has kind of a regular pinfu hand of the Dora. 7-1 would really help. Of course, it has a bunch of floaters as well on the right. Similarly, that's a low shunten, but kind of hard to fill hand. Needs a 7-1 pretty badly. You kind of want to go Tanya if you pair any of those floaters up. The 3-so, the 7-so, the 6-mon, the 8-mon. You can cut the 8-9, just brute force Tanya out of it. Across the way, you have some pairs. We need a Peiko, but it's just really hard to
Pump.
fill. On the left, there's our Chu, and there's our Pod, and there's our Ishunten.
Yeah, 6 mon, the sticky point in that hand, but 5-7 shape is certainly flexible in terms of its improvements. Definitely the 4-mon would be the ideal draw. Just get a little extra value if you're going to win the hand, even if it's just 1,000 points to 2,000 points.
Well, there's your upgrade. You asked for it.
Got the 9 already, so not gonna shift to Samenchan here.
Yeah, but we do have that Sanjiku on the left. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, that is nice. Hopefully we draw the 6-mon and get the comfortable weight.
It's only 1,000, but anytime you get to add Sanjiku, you're going to get approval here.
Absolutely. Meantime, dealer has progressed to Ishantan. Oh, sorry, that's Dion Shantan.
So Juno
I
is
think it's
trying to
Ishantan.
determine whether to make this chi. It's generally a bad chi because you need another 7 or a 6-mon. And there's only one 7 left. It's likely used. And the 6-mon is in a Dora accepting block, so it's very hard to get. So I do not like the 6-pin chi. But there's our Tempai on the left, waiting on 6-mon. This is Chun Sanchagu, so it'll deal in for 2,000 if anyone throws it. Tempai on the right, 6-mon, 7-pin.
6-mon cut would be double roll now.
Switches off the 5. This is now a 6-9 block. And just trying to get the 1,000. Move on here.
Yeah, this makes sense. The difference between 1,000 to the 2,000 points is too small in comparison to the chance
Oh,
to
well, there it
escape.
goes. Just going to be 1,000. You're not even really sad about that deal. And secures first. And that's going to be Taliesin with the win at 42,000.
Very nice. Plus 27.0.
In second, Junuo with an 8.8 after that Haneman with the Aura 3 there late. Aiden with a very nice dodge in one of those hands and ends up with a -11. And Alex, the other end of that Urasan there, as we saw, ends up taking a -24.8.
And for the C1 division, we can take a peek at the standings. Take a look at how things have been going. Few groups playing a couple games now. Aiden up to 6th place overall. Madeline has also, in a separate table, played part of the session 2 into 7th place, and Juno, with the second in that game, will move up to 8th. So 2 players from this table up there near the top.
And in the table, I decided I wasn't going to even try to pronounce. TJ got first with a 26.6, Andrew in second with a 10.9, Tucker with a positive third at plus 2.6, and JT taking the big hit with the minus 39.7 in B2. Well, I think we're going to go on a break for a little bit, maybe swap out a commentator, and be back when we see a game that pops up.
All right, sounds good. We'll take a quick break and swap things around. Be back soon. All right, welcome back, everybody. Commentator swap out. Thanks, Korak, for hopping in and providing excellent commentary as always. We've got Jeffrey back for round two. It's going to be another C1 matchup.
C1's always fun.
Oh, it is. And these players have been playing pretty quickly. I had it open a little bit while I was setting up, and it's been really exciting so far. Into East
Ooh.
4, we've got Scott, Charles, Aiden, and Steven. Steven, our current dealer.
Current dealer looking like a Chanta hand here. But we do have a quick white dragon on the left. That'd be Charles. Looking to shut that down.
Door one pin, none held. But of course, the dealer would be extremely pleased to draw one of those straight into Tempai.
Yeah, then the question is, do you
Each.
dom with the two mon, or do you reach it?
Here's a Ricci instead from Scott. Interesting to take this Ricci without waiting for an upgrade, but maybe likes the 3-so. Says 3-so is a good tile. And
3-so. Well, I know some people are into the 3-so.
also a little bit risky from... Oh, I think that's the wrong player here for... I recognize that name, and I know it's not who we have right here. That's Kaysen. Across the table. There we go. Jamming the door. It was Suji, but, you know, door is always tricky. We can see Scott is on a Tonki Wade, a single tile Wade that could have easily been the Dora. It's something that people do, Dora Tonki.
Yeah. Charles draws the first or draws the 1 pin, Dora. Could really help out that low value hand.
Got a little bit extra value for sure. And it seems like players aren't too worried about this early reach. It's just playing out towards their Tempai, and we will see dealer finding Tempai, waiting 1-4 pin.
Each.
Yeah, it's like you think you reach this, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to take this Ricci.
Oh,
You
yeah, you
can't
have to
Dama
reach that,
snipe.
yep.
But that's fine. Ricci's more value.
Home.
Gonna call the West for Seat Wind,
Dong.
but it is gonna deal the Sanso.
Okay, you look at the hand, you're like, wait, what? Just Sanzo? Okay, that works.
Right. Richie Peiko. Some extra foo in there. You get the 2600, and then you get to be dealer going South 1. Scoreline's pretty close, so anybody's game.
Yeah, Scott opens up to a pretty nice high buy. You've got potential Intotsu final weight with 6 mon, 9 mon, 1 pin. Love to see that. And your floating tiles are really nice. 4-so, 5 pin. Easy to draw around, especially incorporating the Dora 4 pin. To the right, this hand's a little bit worse here. You can still use the Dora 4 pin, but it's in a slightly worse accepting tile with a 2 pin. And there's no really straightforward path to call. 3 pairs as well makes it hard to even find Tempai for Ricci. It's a little bit of a struggle for Kaysen, but we'll see how the hand improves in the future. Charles opens up on the 1 mon. That is an interesting call.
Yeah, the 1 mon's I mean, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, it's just Tanya, and then I saw the 1 mon, and I'm like, wait a second. Not quite sure what we're going for now.
So the plan could be Toy Toy. You could also make an early play for 5-6-7 Sanchoku. I actually have seen someone in A1 make plays like this, but their shapes are a little bit more set towards the Sanchoku.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it has to be 5-6-7.
Nah,
at
it's
this
gonna
point.
be
Okay, now
Toy Toy.
it's Toy Toy. Yeah.
Yeah, Toy Toy, a hand I don't really like to go for from just 2 pairs, or I guess 3 pairs, especially when a lot of these are central tiles, but it's kind of coming together here with that 6-pin Anko draw.
It's been working out so far.
Yeah, now we're Tempai, but we don't have the Yaku, so we'll just continue to play for our Toy Toy. Meantime, on the left, we've got, what was that, multiple pairs. This hand wants to be a Tanyao, so we're going to have to cut away from one of these blocks, maybe even the 7-8 Mon, just to confirm Tanyao. However, the Chuso has come out twice recently from Scott as well, and not called, so perhaps the Chuso will be cut, and we'll aim for a closed hand, in which case we do want to keep the 7-8 shape in the Monzoon.
Yeah, we're not ready to commit to Tanya yet, so didn't call either 2. we'll see if the plan works out.
And we did see Kaysen open up with Seat Wind.
Ooh, gets another 8. Yeah, I think at this point you should cut the 7/8 mon, but
And maybe even Cheeto is an idea, but definitely playing for the closed hand. Although I do kind of like cutting the 2-so instead of the 8-8, just because the 2-so is already cut twice. Technically, it's safer later if you think someone's going to reach here. But it also reduces the chances of you winning the hand to hold that.
yep. Ooh, dealer's getting close to a hand. Kind of depends on what happens.
Yeah, the potential value in this hand is really dependent on what gets drawn. It could be Saranko, it could be Ipeko, it could just be Richinomi.
1
6 mon, okay. All right, yep. Just gonna take the Richinomi.
So half of this weight is completely
Ton.
dead, but the other
Mhm.
half is a really strong weight. So Scott will take the chance on the 1 pin.
Ooh, the 5 mon. I was thinking about maybe throwing the 1 pin pair and not taking the Tenpai, but
Yeah, that's definitely a consideration. But I think because so many of these 2 pins are out, the 1 looks really good.
yeah, the one pin looks like it would come out if it doesn't fit in somebody's hand. So
Yeah,
it's
I guess
fair enough.
if I was Scott, I'd be concerned
Don't.
that Charles was holding it for Toy Toy. Instead, it's the 7 pin that comes out and deals in, and that hand that we thought was so far from winning ends up getting there.
Yep, ended up drawing the pairs we needed to make that hand work. So now we're gonna move on to Kaysen's
Oh.
dealership.
We got a well, I thought we had the visual glitch. Never mind. We're solid.
All right, all right.
What do you think about this dealership? Is it going to be a Honitsu?
I mean, depends if we draw the 2 or the 5. The 2 5 so real quick. If
Home.
not, maybe. We'll drop the 6 probably.
If you're thinking about Honitsu, you want the 6 pin cut here.
Right.
All right, that's good. Now, if we draw around the 6 mon with something like the 7 mon or even the 5 mon, you can cut the 3-4.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 5 definitely. I would probably go for it.
Even something like the 2 mon is Tempai, but if you're getting greedy for
Gee.
some serious value here, and that's exact. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
just cause
nope.
it to Tempai.
Yeah, just gonna take the. I'm dealer. I'll take a cheap hand if it means I'll get a repeat out of it.
I personally think it's early enough that we can cut 4-3 and have a really nice 2-3-3-4 shape.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done, but I can understand the. I'm dealer. I just want to win any hand and get points.
1
right. There's pros and cons to both moves.
Plus, we're really close to 30,000, so even a cheap hand gets us. Can
Yeah,
help us get there.
especially with this Ricci, that will be enough to get over 30,000. Ricci Pinhu Dora 2 waiting for 7.
Yeah, that could be big if we finish it. 4-7. 1-4 left and 2 7s left in the wall. None of the other players really. Well, a couple people might be able to use the 7.
No, but there's the 5.
4
So the fast hand, the early Tempai will shut down the expensive Ricci. Kaysen will be in 3rd place here.
Yep, gets us above 30,000, and then we'll try winning another hand here.
This high pie for dealer is a little bit slow. We've got the Diankon shape 135 in the Monzu, but the Penchon 8-9 pin and the Kanchan 6-8, so are a little bit slow in this hand.
Yeah, each of the high pies here, kind of around the board, all kind of have their own problem. None of them are particularly great.
At least for Charles, there's 2 Dora and the makings of a 5-6-7 Sanshoku. And across the way, we've got the Haku pair for Steven, so at least that hand potentially has some speed to it. Even 1-2-3 Sanshoku is possible, although we're kind of away from the Penchon now.
Yeah, just drew the white dragon last turn, so that might solve his problem.
Oh, hello, Charles. Nice 6-0 fill. And in his spot, I'm kind of tempted to call the 7 month comes out for 3 Han.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Take the 5, 6, 7.
Even earlier, I wouldn't have hated seeing the call of the West for Dora 3. It's a little bit on the optimistic side, but it wouldn't have been too crazy to be out of the realm of possibility in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, you show that you've got 3 Dora, then other people have to start thinking if they actually want to push their hands or not. So
They also have to play Guess the Yaku,
right.
which is
So
always interesting when you apply that sort of pressure to the table.
ooh, a second 7 mon on the Scott's hand.
リーチ
Starting to come along now. There's the 7, so we're just gonna take Tenpai.
4-7 West.
4-7 West. 1 West, which would be great.
Oh!
Oh, but draws the
Sumo.
4 on Ipatsu.
Ipatsimo. No
We'll take
Sanchoku
that
here.
too. The Urdora? No, just the Hanuman. But
Or the
that'll put us
Mongon.
into first. I mean, Mongon, sorry. That will put us into first.
Yeah, Charles building a really nice hand there.
Then, ooh, might be able to make. I don't know. Got a couple options here depending on what we draw. Could be Chanta, could be Honitsu. Drop the 9 mon here, or do we drop a honor tile? Ooh, 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah, 9 mon would be the clearest hedge of everything. 7-8 really indicates that Charles sees one hand, and that is Honitsu.
Honitsu.
On the right, that's not too bad for Steven, just a couple tiles away from Tempai. Across the way,
Yeah.
Scott even looking really strong with Richi Pinfu chance, Ishan Them.
Yeah, a lot of quick hands here. Who's gonna get there first?
Let's even Ishan Them on the left for Case and Richi Tanya or Richi Tanya Pinfu. Maybe even Sanshoku in the future, 6-7-8. A lot of potential value there. I'd like to see Case and play for that possibility.
So 1 pin
Home.
doesn't help. We are okay. Yeah, we're just gonna go Honitsu. It looks like.
West twice
What?
cut, so a little less valuable here.
Right, Wes is already twice cut, so we'll start with that.
Personally, though, in this spot, I think I like holding it just as a safe tile because we're getting to the end of row 1. Someone could reach any second now.
I think here you cut the 2. No, we're gonna go all out. Okay.
Again, in my mind, it's very important in this spot, once we've committed to our hand, that we play defensively. We've even called the 1 pin already, so they know what suit our Honitsu is. And these 2 8s. Now that I think about it, what Charles is doing is probably playing for Toy Toy. Not necessarily Honitsu.
I'd assume he's either trying to disguise the Honitsu or playing Toy Toy.
Oh, 4 pin cut definitely signals Toy Toy. We saw him make a speculative Toy Toy play earlier in this game and won it. So trying to follow suit here.
But meanwhile, Scott is gonna get into Tenpai and is gonna reach for on the Forso only for Ipeko.
Yeah, I don't know if he noticed that there's only 1 Forso left.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that reach. I may have waited. There's a couple tiles that you could upgrade on as well.
リーチ
And we're going to see the chase from Kaisen. And this hand, much better looking in terms of its weight. 2-5 mon. Richi Tanya Pinshu's also better value too. Oh, I shouldn't say better value because Scott's got a pair of Dora.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's just a
Scott
straight up
does have-
Mongon, but
Yeah, it does have Dora too. I missed that. So
Charles.
yeah, we're gonna hell wait on
チ
the Forso.
Well, now with the 7-so coming out, this is Nakatsuji 4-so.
Uh-oh.
And Charles has made progress to the point that he
Yeah, I
could
was gonna
even
say
deal
the
in.
dealer's in a bit of trouble here. Might end up
Gee.
dealing in. Oh no,
Dum.
we're gonna deal in. Steven's gonna deal in instead.
Plays for the K10 here and will deal into 39 instead. That changes position now. Third place for Steven, second place for Kaysen, and we go into all last.
Going into all last. Dealer hand is not what you were hoping for, but is not necessarily a lost cause here.
Ooh, 7 mod here is really signals that dealer does not like what they see. They might be hedging Honitsu and Kokushi. I think hedging Chanta, an outside, some type of outside hand, is also valid here too, but
I was gonna say, speaking of Chanta, we had Kokushi. We had 7 Kokushi tiles on the right, but then West got called, so we're like, okay, never mind. We'll go for Honitsu instead, maybe.
you know,
Or
on
just
the
south.
left for Charles, it's definitely Toy chance again.
Or
It seems
Toy, that's true.
that's one of his favorite hands, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him aiming in that direction. Dealer 3 away from Kokushi. Oh, but I think we have to switch now. We've got so many pairs, and these one mons have come out. The West has come out, but we have one of those already. I think it's just more likely that we win this hand as a Toy or a Chant or something. I would call this.
Yeah, through the 9-pin,
Oh, the 9-pin.
Boom.
Well,
and then is gonna call back into it. That's a little awkward.
yeah, I didn't realize we'd cut the 9-pin. I'm less inclined to call once we made
Right.
that move.
They'd already threw they should have thrown the West instead of the 9-pin, I think, and hedged our bets, but maybe was thinking I'll just go for Chitoy, and then
Right,
at
and then
that
the one
point, at
came
that
out.
point, yeah, at that point, I guess you had to commit and just go for Chitoy, but
Each.
Well,
it was
regardless,
kind
we're going to have a Tempai from Scott. All the door I have come out incidentally, so Kokushi was not happening.
Yep, and then we're gonna have just the 4/6 pair weight.
Yeah, could have also discarded the 6-pin for the 3-mon, but 4/7 seems much better here.
Yep, makes sense. Let's see how many.
Boom.
No Dora, so that's just gonna be Richi Tanyao.
Yeah, might not be enough to change position here unless Uda
Yeah,
hit.
hoping for an Ura to get us some extra value to hopefully swap a place here.
Yeah, Richitsumo Tanyao would be... Uda would be enough.
Dome.
This Roan, though,
The road,
needs Uda. Misses.
nope. Yeah, not quite enough. I was like, I don't think it's enough unless he pulled it off of dealer, but he's not gonna pull it off of dealer, so.
That will at least get some points. Only a minus 21.2 for Scott. And that also leaves Steven in third place, negative 6.8. Kaysen dips below 30k with a minus 1.3 in second place. And it's Charles, the big winner, with a couple nice hands there, plus 29.3. We'll be moving up in the standings.
Oh yeah, I guess that did pull second under 30k, so it saved him a few points of UMA, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
the benefit was because Charles ended up being the only player above 30,000 points, he was the beneficiary of 5 extra UMA points. So in the end, Scott's win there off of Kaysen directly meant that Charles got 5 extra points. And then the remaining players were left unchanged, basically. Other than Kaysen getting a +0 for second place instead of a +5 in terms of the UMA bonus. So it'll be Charles up to 9th place after 2 games are played in this series. Oh, and it looks like there is one more game going on. We could hop over there to B1.
Ooh, yeah, that looks like a fun game.
Who's playing in that?
That was Eric C, Christian M, Kayla C, and Ricky L.
This will be a fun table. B1 3.
B13.
Find that. I think we just saw Tucker playing earlier tonight as well, so now it's Kayla's turn. And, oh yeah, this table should definitely be good. All these players great at building efficiently towards their tempis.
Alrighty, let's see. Oh, we're only in East 2. Okay. And ooh, dealer's got nice hand already. But we did have a quick tune call from Kayla. Christian did not call the 7, so we're going to try to get this closed. Try to reach it and get more points. Then, oh yeah, we drew the Dora, so we definitely want to... Made the right decision to not call that. Formon, big pickup there. Everyone's getting close, like one away for most everyone at the table here, just looking for the right tile.
Dealer specifically looking for 7 mon 5 pin is not super efficient. What we're hoping is that we can find a pair elsewhere and use the 7/7
Yeah.
8 shape as a diamond. Hey, just like this.
Yep, that's one way to do it. There we go. Ooh, Formon. We're gonna drop the 8/9. Makes sense.
1
But we are gonna find Tempai for... That's gonna be Ricky.
Multi-sided here. 147 mon.
147. Hoping to not get the 1 so we get the Tanya value, but
Yeah, we'll take what we can get. The 7 looking even better now that the 6 has come out twice.
yeah, 6 is twice out, so 7 could definitely be coming out. Ooh, that's... Yeah, gotta drop the Richie tile 4.
So Christian trying to stay out of the way, preserve this early lead. Looks like he managed to win a Mungon, perhaps.
Then, yeah, now 2 pin is safe. Yep. So we can... Yeah. North is fairly safe. Try to dance around and finish getting into Tempai. There's one of the 1s. We're gonna keep that.
2 1s remaining, 3 7s.
Ooh, it's cutting away from the 5.
Uh-oh, 5/4 would deal in.
Yep,
Wrong.
there it is.
That is
Richie
just the Richie Tanya. Uda makes it
Ooh.
52. A little bit more expensive there. And Ricky up to 34.6 in second place. Now Kayla in the dealer seat has a really nice high pie. Floating
345.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that Sanchoku. 7 so connects the door really easily, but unfortunately Kayla will not draw a Dora.
Ricky starts with all of the 8 so in hand. Now 3 2 so's. All right. Well,
Yeah, what is going on in that hand?
what are we gonna do over here? Oh, 8 so is the Dora. Okay. Well, we gotta do something then, right?
Yeah, you have to play the hand. I'm wondering if he's ever going to con it. Right now, he has some floating tiles to toss away, because if he draws a 7 mon, that will at least be a nice shape.
I guess we could go Toy Toy, right? With the
Yeah,
2 mon maybe.
Presumably, the first thought is Tanya, and then Toy Toy would be a nice addition as well.
Yeah.
But really, Ricky's play for any Tempai here.
カン
8 mon. Oh, we're gonna con now. Okay. Yeah, looks like straight into Tanya. It looks like. Now all the other players are like, wait a second, he just conned Dora 4.
All of a sudden, this floating 7 so not that useful anymore. Ricky bouncing Tanya and also this 1-2-2-2 so shape. The question of whether we're going to be slamming a Ricci waiting on 1-3 so or calling for Tanya is still up in the air.
Ooh, that's not quite Tempai yet. for Christian.
Yeah, tough choice here between the one of the ones or the 8 mon. Goes with the 1 so.
Takes the 1.
So this means that we're moving the direction of a Tanyo. Whereas if we draw something like the 9 mon, we might just have to slam that Ricci. Oh, opponent
Boom.
senpai is excellent.
Yep, opponent to Tenpai. Dama on the 8 for now. Or waiting on the 8 mon wait.
Yeah, and Caleb might
There's
have to
one
drop it
in-
out.
One on the wall still.
Looks like she's moving to Tanya herself, knowing that it's unlikely that Ricky will be able to win on a 9 so or a 1 mon. Unless it's Toy Toy. Of course, 1 mon
Each.
safe. 9 so would come out 2 times already. We're gonna have a Ricci.
Ooh.
Christian fights this.
Brave Ricci there.
5 pin, not a good way. That would deal in though if he pushes it.
Alright. Yep. Gets rid of the 8.
He'll work around this. He can, if he draws like this 3 pin, can cut the 2 so.
No.
롱.
Yeah. Ooh, it gets the Ura too. Or it gets in the
Her
Ura
as well, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make it a Mungon and Christian. Up to 46,000 points. Oh, and with the dealership swap, we get a commentator swap as well. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hello, how's everyone going right now?
It's been a really exciting game. Did you see that Condor hand?
Oh, that looks like something I gotta look at later on in the logs.
Yeah, well, we're checking out Ricky in the dealer's seat. What do you make of this high pie?
Well, it looks fine. That 7 so is really wanted. Maybe if you get things correct, maybe it's 789 Sanchoka. But I think as dealer, if I can get a Pinfu or maybe even Pinfu +1, I'm happy.
Sounds pretty good. Well, I'll leave the rest of these high pie to
Boom.
you and Jeffrey.
Yep. Looks like seven so for the dealer. That helps out that hand. Always happy to take a door in.
Yep. And on the right here, I feel like it's the same story. Get a 789 Sanchoka and be happy? Question mark.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to work with what the wall gives you.
Yep.
That's what we got here.
It's strangely not. Is that? Oh, it is Ishanten. It is Ishanten, but the Sanchoku will require
Gee.
some. Oh, actually, it's the Furiten Sanchoku because of the 9 pin.
Yeah, but we are gonna call into Tenpai on the right,
Boom.
and there we're gonna just deal in, and so we're gonna take the Yaku door 1, Yaku high door 1, and move
2000.
into south 1.
Do you feel sad when you deal into a 2000 hand?
It depends on how late and what the scores are, but early on
Boom.
not so bad. When it's late and the scores are close, you feel pretty bad.
Yeah. Speaking of 2000 hands, dealer looks like they want a 1500 here.
Well, this could be a lot of different things depending on what we draw. I guess you're hoping for a toy here to get more value out of it, but might just have to settle for the 1000 points.
Yep. As dealer, do you tend to be more aggressive? Because it seems like this dealer is kind of aggressive right now.
I usually play a little bit more aggressive when I'm dealer because you always can get the repeat, and people tend to be a little more wary when the dealer is pushing. So, but
Yeah.
it can definitely backfire if you're. I
Boom.
mean, you got to temper yourself sometimes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've had a lot of times where I've dealt in because I was dealer and pushing way too much.
Ooh, Ricky draws a 7 mon here, so we got to decide what this hand is going to be.
Well, when in doubt, think Tanyao.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously Tanyao, but it's like, can we get more out of this than just Tanyao? Can we get Tanyao Pinfu maybe or something out of this? I think that's
Well,
what the 3 cut was for. I think that was a possible Pinfu play.
ooh, interesting. That does give up the possible Ipeko, but
Each.
ooh, that would be Tenpai for Richipifu, but no Tanyao.
Yep, no Tanyao because we drew the wrong end of it, but that's fine.
Ooh, but it does look like the dealer has has a loose 4-pin that probably comes out in Tenpai.
Yeah, I imagine so. I imagine if you draw a south
Pom.
here, that comes out, or
Dome.
yep, right there. You're correct. So Richi Kenfu, no Urdora, so just 2,000.
Speaking of 2,000 hands.
Yep. Yeah, and we get our Richi stick back, of course. So
That is true.
all right, and we've got Red Dragon as the door indicator makes that hand across the way really spicy. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Ooh, Cheetoy. I know a specific person who would hate me for saying that.
I was just say I don't know about Chitoy.
Pom.
There it is.
Ooh, Dorapong. That'll make it worth a lot
Boom.
more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you're gonna call that and then take whatever you can get here. In fact, we have a lot of pairs in hand, so if things really work out, we can get Toy Toy out of this. But I'm sure we'll just take anything.
Pom.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
sure yeah, call the green.
Thing is, if you get the next red dragon, what are you gonna do?
That's a good question. What are our dreams here? Do we want more than Hanuman? I think I just take the Hanuman. Well, there we can go for Toy Toy now.
Yep. That though the thing is, let me ask you: if you pong 2-pin or 3-pin, do you go for the
Pom.
Toy Toy Tenpai or do you go for the Diamond Tenpai?
Let's see, what place am I in? I'm in second. I'd probably go for the Toy Toy.
Ooh,
Go for the
greedy.
big play. Try to make up some distance here on dealer since I'm in second already, and we've got a couple more plays left. But you could definitely. I mean, either way is fine. But
Oh yeah, no, because that's always the interesting question of is the good weight worth losing to Han?
Pom.
Oh wow.
we're gonna call for the pair weight for the dealer here. But we can always switch. Ooh, there's the 8. Oh, that's gonna fit though.
Ooh, I love how aggressive the dealer is. Like the dealer's not thinking let's fold, but rather I need to win this so that I don't get Oyakaburid. I really love that.
Yeah, I'm
Boom.
gonna shut this down. I'm gonna shut this big hand down by winning. There we go. Tanyo, 1,500 points. We'll go again.
Yep, that is a really nice play as first place. Let me ask you, if that was you in your position, would you be playing as aggressive like that, or would you try to fold because you're afraid of dealing in?
A bit of column A and a bit of column B. I would be a little more defensive, not throwing any weird, unnecessarily weird tiles. But if you can shut down a big hand with a cheap hand, it always feels good.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And then dealer
Well,
here is just gonna take east, take another cheap hand here.
yep. On the left here, that hand had a lot of potential. It could be a Chitoy, it could be a Honitsu, it could be a Toy Toy. I see so many different ways out of this.
Yeah, but Eric's gonna go ahead and show that I've got 3 Dora, and we'll see what players are gonna do here. Ooh, that's the 5. Are we gonna take the Tenpai here?
Chi.
We
Oh
are gonna take the
shoot,
Tenpai.
that is
White
another
North.
Honitsu.
Yep. White Dragon North, and what
Gee.
North is once cut. I bet if somebody draws it, it comes right out. But now dealers in Tenpai 258 for the
How
cheap
are,
hand.
excuse me, it's turn 5. How are two people in Tenpai?
Exactly. Answer is good. The answer is good. Good high pies is the answer.
Yeah, if I'm rookie, I'm like,
Gee.
okay, so I see this many calls. Is everyone in Tenpai already?
Sumo.
Like,
Oh,
oh,
sumo for the dealer.
a great call, by the way. If you don't call that, you deal in.
Yep. Well, that was a fun hand. All right. Green Dragon indicator.
Ooh, dealer can do the funny if they want to play Chanta.
Yeah, Chanta always feels so bad to go for, but
I mean, if
If-
you're,
I mean, if this is what you got, I mean, that's pretty much your only choice.
yeah, like the only awkward, I think
Chi.
that's the chi, right? Yeah, you gotta see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Only awkward part is you kind of had that red dragon hanging around, but I guess that's try to hope it pairs up or something.
Yeah, it's like I think you hang on to that. And I think that's your last drop and then because if you get red, then it's like, well, now I can get rid of white if I need to,
Now,
and
hear me out.
play Chanta that way.
What if you drop white, white, and keep the 1 pin for Junchan?
I mean, you could. You could. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but
But yeah, I'm actually curious if the white dragon comes out, what do you drop? Or actually, do you even call white dragon?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking at this point. I don't know if I would call White Dragon. I mean,
'Cause-
you'd have to get rid of either the 8-9 or the 1-2 if you call White.
Or the red dragon?
You
Which
could,
probably.
yeah, but we're already in second row now. I think maybe if it was like first row, maybe, but second row now, I'm probably just gonna be hanging on to Dora at this point.
Ooh.
But speaking of Dora, we're gonna get the second one. Ricky's gonna get a second one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at this point, as dealer, are
Gee.
you okay with dropping the red dragon?
Boom.
Now I'd probably keep it at this point. Make people play. Oh
Boom.
no, he's gonna drop it.
Ooh. That gives Ricky a. Oh no.
Oh, ooh.
This is the thing about Akanashi. A single Dorapong can change so much.
Yep. And so we're gonna deal in. Fortunately, we're still in first, even with the Mongon deal in.
That is
So
true. Though
it's not
I'd say the sad thing here is that you have a lower chance of getting that extra 5 points for being the only person over 30k.
right. Right. It still feels pretty bad, but you just gotta from here. You just gotta buckle down and be like, all right, that was a mistake. Well, see, that's why you don't throw Dora. That's why you don't throw Dora. Make
Ex-
everyone else. You make everyone else have to worry about if you have it or not.
Yep.
Interesting hand for dealer here. Could maybe still be another Chanta play here.
Speaking of Dora, obviously Ricky
Boom.
gets another Dora pair, because why not?
That
Thing
pin.
is is this Ricky's hand is awkward. You have two
Yeah.
Doras, so you want to push, but the thing is, if you want to play Tanya out, you have to drop four tiles.
4 tiles. Yeah.
If you play Chitoy, you only have 4 pairs.
I
That
guess
being
you.
said, yeah.
I guess you're just hoping to draw like good tiles and then drop one of the pairs and wait on a double pair, but it doesn't feel great.
Yeah. Like, you can see here, the dealer's already tempai for Sanjo Nomi, but I'm pretty sure they're looking for the I would take the upgrade, by the way. The Chanta upgrade, I guess.
Yeah, I get you're looking for any like terminal or honor that you can still has a chance to be drawn, I think at this point.
Yeah. The only problem is I think there's only like 1 or 2 left because your discard pile has majority of them.
Yeah, you've already dropped west, east is dead already. 1 pin would be nice. You could do it on a 1 pin. 1 pin's once cut. If we draw a 1 pin, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would most definitely. Ugh.
Especially now that we've dropped 2-3.
I just don't like keeping the Sanzo because it just gets so dangerous later on. Unless the Sanzo comes out right now. Which does not because of
Yeah.
the Tanya upgrade, I think, for Christian on the left here.
Yep, he's gonna keep that.
Ooh, do you take the Chi?
Chi.
Dark Strand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can drop the I was gonna say we can drop the 1 mon here and go and do it that way. So
And
that makes sense.
it does also have the plus of, even though you don't know it, you don't deal into the dealer by doing so.
That's true. That's a hidden benefit there. All right, 3 pin. Yeah, we'll drop the 6 mon now. Makes sense.
I just don't like how the dealer's keeping the 3-so, because 3-so is like one tile that it just never comes out of anyone because it's right next to the
Chi.
Dora.
Yeah. Well, we see the other 2 3s now, so we know. Oh, and the 9 mon. That's
That's
gonna
a
be Furton.
food
Though.
return.
That's gonna be Furton.
I mean,
I mean,
would you like, yeah.
it's more life than the 3 so we're gonna take it.
Would you like the dead Sanzo or do you like the Furiten at 9-man?
Ooh, we're gonna have a 9-so Chitoy wait for Ricky there.
Ooh, so it did end up being Chitoy.
And there is one left. Oh, there's the 9, but it won't deal in because we're free 10.
Oh
Oh, he's gonna keep.
no.
Oh, he's gonna keep the 9.
Dealer is
Ooh.
gonna be so sad when they get an upgrade. Be like, hey, I'm out of Furiten, right?
I will just draw it right now. We'll just draw the last one. It's fine.
Oh no. Oh
No,
no.
red is-
What? No!
What? What?
Red
was
is dead!
Red was dead. What? Uh-oh. Disaster. May not have realized it was dead.
So we go from dead weight to Furiten weight to dead weight and dealing in.
Mm. Yeah. But that's gonna put us into South 4. We have 2 people that got a chance to take it here. And we have 2 that are quite deep. Eric needs 10,000. Well, 7,100. No, 8,100 to get above. So needs more than a Mongon in order to get above 30k.
The interesting thing here is I think because the Agariyame is off, even if Ricky wins a hand, the game is not over. So that's an
Right.
interesting point here.
That is true. But with a person being so close behind you, do you take a win to try to get further ahead?
That's
'Cause
that sounds like the ideal. The question is, let's say you get to Tempai
Mhm.
at the end. Do you take the Tempai or do you break the Tempai?
Right at the end.
Yep.
Let's see, how far ahead are we? We're only 2,000 ahead. That's a tough choice.
Because let's say your Kami or Shimo reaches. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, am I okay with folding or do I have to push? Because if I don't push, I probably get Oyakaburi down to second place.
Yeah, that's I had that happen once to me where I was only like 1,000 points in the lead, and I'm like, I gotta drop out of Tempai in order to I had
Each.
a tile that I just knew was gonna deal in, and it was really sad.
Ooh, now it's the opposite situation. So Ricky does the Ricci. Obviously, that's the worst thing that can happen for Christian here. The question is, as Christian, do you fold or do you?
Sumo.
Oh, who cares?
Oh,
Who
well,
cares?
You just sumo. That's the answer. Is you just sumo. That's it.
Okay, game. You don't want me to talk.
Oh, and he gets the Ura for the Hanuman. That okay? Well, now we're in good shape. Now we can just be like, all right, fight amongst yourselves.
Each.
Oh,
double
my
Ricci.
gosh!
Double
Ricci.
What? Okay, what? Okay, 4-pin only for Ipeiko.
So Daburi Ipeiko. Sure.
I don't think that's enough to really change anything, but it's still funny.
I mean, it's one for the Yaku decks.
Yeah.
Sumo.
Oh my god!
What is this?
What is this? Excuse me?
All right.
Double Ricci and you get a sumo on a bad weight in 2 turns? What is this?
Okay. Well, that's the way to end. That's the way to end a game.
Wow, I feel like there's at least a bit of luck sacking at the end there.
All right, so Ricky's gonna take the big win with that Hanuman right in South 3 or right at South 4, and is gonna take 41 almost 42 points for that. And then Christian is gonna stay above the 30,000, so they're gonna get 8 points. And then Eric with that crazy last hand is just gonna take 10-point negative there, and that leaves Kayla taking a minus almost 39.1. Not too happy with that, but you can't win them all. You're gonna lose some. And I mean, what do you do when everyone's sumoing? I mean, there's not much you can do.
Exactly. Well
And then there's our overall for B1. Yeah, Kayla's having a bit of a rough start, it looks like, down there at the bottom. But everyone else is positive, barely positive right now. It looks like kind of to the middle of the pack there.
I'm interested how Christian here has a 31.6% win rate.
And it looks like they did start another game. If everyone's still good to do one more.
Okay, let's see more chaos.
Yep, it'll be just about a minute. So we're gonna sit here and look at the stat sheet a bit more. Anything else kind of jump out at you?
I just appreciate how Haru is up there in second place with a 16% deal-in rate.
Yeah, 16% deal in rate, but the average is really low, only 3.2 on the average deal in. So dealing into mostly just small hands. Uh,
You know
and
what?
then
I guess that makes sense with a 27.9 reach rate.
yeah, 27. Of course, Kevin in third place is kind of in a similar position, dealing in quite a bit, but not into big hands.
Oh yeah, but Kevin's stats just look, those are just cracked. 27 win percent with 8,000 average, dealing 13% with only 3,500. That's a
Mhm.
great way. Oh, I see. Winning a Yakuman will
That
change.
that'll do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Winning a Yakuman will boost your average. So,
Most definitely.
all right, looks like we're moving into okay. That's an interesting high pie for dealer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With 7 terminals. Ugh.
Yeah, it was 7. We're just gonna play it standard. It's too early to think of anything weird. It's the first hand. We're just gonna play this standard.
Yeah. I mean,
And
with
we picked up a Dora, so probably
yeah.
the right call.
So I guess that's pretty good. On the right there. Ooh, how about a 789 Sanchoku with a possible chance for Junchan?
That would be pretty big with one Dora in hand. That seems like a good play.
Yep. Question is, how aggro do you want to play open for it?
Then Christian got a
Boom.
pair up on East, and then is gonna call for it. So could just make a quick work here if we can get our 5-pin.
Question is, if you call the 5-pin, are you taking... Okay, who cares about Sanchoku? No! You're gonna ask, if you call the 5-pin, do you take the 5-8 good weight or do you take the Sanchoku weight?
Boom.
Well, apparently we're gonna take the good weight.
Ah, that feels sad.
And let's see. Ooh, 3, so that's a big pickup there.
Oh yeah. That kind of broke off the
Oh, there's our
Junchan shape.
Tenpai. There's our Tenpai for dealer. We're waiting on 1, so 7-pin.
Or
7-pin being Dora is unlikely to come out, but the 1 so might come out, except they're pretty lodged in people's hands though, so
Though on the right here, Kayla has a pretty loose one show considering that hand really wants to be Tanyao.
well, that's true. The one might come out for the Tanya switch. That's true.
And actually, Toyman here, Ricky also, that one show is also loose because of the same reason. If you go for a Tanyao, you're dropping that one show.
Yeah, but if we get the 3, we're just in Tenpai, right? Well, then then we can we may drop the 1 to go into instead of the 4. That's true.
Boom.
Yeah, and here
There
it
There
comes
it is.
out.
Yep, there it is. Yakuhai Dora 2.
Yep, that's a great start for the dealer.
Yep, great first hand. We'll get a repeat out of it too. Starting with Dora 1 again.
So about the 789 Sanchok.
A 789. Well, we got a second shot at it.
Boy, I'm gonna say this until sometime someone will get it. Like, so. Can we have one 789 Sanchoku? Come on.
Never mind. It could be 678. I mean, we can still do 678.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Imagine the dragons come out now. Yep, dragons coming out. Looking around the table, nothing. Didn't look like anything too exciting.
Well, on the right there, that looks like your good old Reach Pimfu, maybe Tanya, if you're okay with dropping 1-1.
Right.
And opposites, how about another Reach Tanya Pimfu?
Yeah, reach Tanya, Pinfu. Once we get to Tempai, we'll drop the 9 Mon.
That is Ishan 10? Yes, that is Ishan 10, though depending on... Ooh, that's a funny draw. Does not want the 8 mon, huh?
Does not want the 8.
What does the 3 mon do? I'm curious. Drops the Dora?
Drops the Dora, doesn't want it. Doesn't fit in my hand.
Sure, but Dora Tanki.
Alright.
And on the left here, huh? That's a funny Shanten.
Yeah, depends on what we draw. Oh,
It's-
dealer. Okay, has the 6. I see. Let's be like, it's gonna drop the 9, so possibly dropping the 8, but no, we've got the 6 to back it up, so we're good.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
There
like
we
one
go.
of the best draws. The
Yep.
only thing I'm sad about it is you could have had a Sanshoku.
I think I've only gotten like 2 Sanshokus ever, so.
Have-
Ooh, the 4, that completes that
Each.
shape. Well, we gonna take the Tenpai? We are gonna take the Tenpai.
I'm curious. Do you like this
Each.
Tenpai better, or would you have like the Dora Tanki Tenpai?
I mean, that's a tough choice this early in the game.
Speaking of Tenpai, on the
Each.
left there, Christian decides to go for the
Don't.
Tanki Richi, and oh no.
Yep. It's gonna deal in because of that call there.
Sure, Richi butts 2,600.
And then, okay. I'm gonna swap dealers here, but that was an interesting hand for the former dealer. 2 easts, 2 wests. But we're in north seat now. So not amazing, but we could just play that east. In fact, 6 means we've got pretty good shapes, so we could depending on what we draw, this could be a quick hand, or we could just play it straight up. No, we're gonna play it. We're gonna take the west. Just gonna call and go. Maybe dreaming Honitsu in the best case scenario here.
When
Would have
in
to-
doubt, Akanashi, play Honitsu. Khan! No!
No code for the green dragon.
Funny
Nope.
button!
We did draw the 5 mon though, so we're just gonna play this straight now.
Yeah. The only problem is you might get into a weird... actually, that hand almost has no Furi tens.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point you've got the 4 straight, so one of those is either end is gonna be your pair. Well, we got 2 4 straights now, so one of those can be the pair, one of those is gonna be the triplet, and you call your east.
Question is, where is the east?
Where is it? It's in the wall. That's where it is. But what I was more concerned about is we only have 1 door out so far too, and it's kind of loose in the hand. Well, there's our pair, so now we're ready. So I think that, but we do need the east for the Yaku though.
How about Chides? Dora? No!
I don't think you could cheat that because you can't call swap. So would have had to drop out of Tenpai to.
That is true.
Ooh, 5 pin. What do we do here?
Sumo.
White, yeah.
How about we
There's a
just...
sumo.
Yay!
Sumo for East only. Hooray!
It does the job, right?
Well, we're in first, so we're happy to move the game along, right?
Yep.
All right, that's an interesting here there, and on the right for Christian, we'll keep an eye on that. That could be once again a great number of things depending on what we draw.
Could be Toy Toy, could be Honitsu, could be Chitoy, could
Could be
be
Daisongen. Could be. Well, we'll see.
Nice
We'll see
again.
what happens. Yeah. I mean, we got 2 whites, a green, and a red, right? We just need to draw 2 reds and 2 greens, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
oh,
Right.
yeah, they are
Boom.
pretty all in the wall. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, drops the green dragon. Seems like what is that trying to go for the toy toy path or just efficiency path?
I think a bit of both. We're hedging. We're trying. We don't know if this is gonna be Toy Toy. We don't know if this is gonna be Honitsu. We don't. We're just not sure. So we're gonna hedge a little bit of everything. I think.
But does not pong the Tumon.
Does not pawn the Tumon.
Interesting. Ooh, funny draw.
Yeah.
Okay, commits.
Gonna commit
Yep.
to the Honitsu now.
Do you like that, or would you have tried going for the toy toy move?
Boom.
Yeah, but I like going for the Honitsu here.
Okay.
Over, just statistically, I think it's just. I don't know, like actually statistically, but it feels like it's easier to get a Honitsu than a Toy Toy
That would
when
make sense.
when you're playing against people. But we do have a possible Itsu for the dealer here.
Yep, but a lot of times the Dora Tupin is really awkward because on the right there, you probably think they're Honitsu, so
Yeah,
I
they're definitely showing Honitsu in the pin suit, so it'd be really awkward to drop that.
so then how are you gonna go? Ooh, still drops the A pin.
Who decides to drop that? Well, the A pin just came out, so
Oh, I see. Yeah,
we decided it that way.
I think that's
Each.
Tenpai bad weight.
Yep,
Yep.
Boom.
they are gonna take it, and
But-
we're gonna call them Tenpai.
Ooh, that gives a Tenpai. Interestingly, that Tenpai is mostly dead by the Ricci having the 7-pin pair.
Yep, has the 7-pin pair and the Ricci, and then there's one more already out, so there's one left in the wall. It would be a big pickup though if we can get it.
I don't think this ever folds, does it?
Um,
As Honitsu Tenpai with a possible toy
it
toy.
would be hard to give it up. It would be hard to give it up.
Yeah, because personally, I just don't see how you fold that hand. Because, like, let's say you draw. Let's say you draw a
Sumo.
dangerous tile. Okay, ignore the dangerous tile. Just sumo.
Just sumo. I mean, that was it. I was sitting there like, well, what seems really dangerous to the reach that the dealer would be hesitant to drop, and I was like, I couldn't really think of any off the top of my head. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're Honitsu Mangan Tenpai, it's hard to fold anything, right?
yeah, it'd have to be something really dangerous, and you'd have to think that the person that reached has something really big, but they weren't showing. Again, their discards weren't really sussy. So
Yeah. Well, now they have their dealership with I guess fine hand. This looks like it's not slow. It's just that it's just kind
yeah,
of
it's not good. It's not bad. It's just a high pie.
yeah.
We got a chance to pick up a door now, though. That helps.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Maybe an
Uh,
outside Junchan chance? Not anymore. Not much anymore. But you could have tried to think about forcing a Junchan depending on draws. I don't know.
Yeah, we drew too many middle tiles now, though. Yeah, maybe at the beginning, but now it seems like a bit of a stretch. Ooh, 8-mon. That no.
Keep the 8-mon for the no 7, 8, 9 cents because you killed off your own 9-mon.
Right.
Yikes.
But looking
Small backfire, but I guess it's not too bad.
not too bad.
You do have that floater 9 show though, which is really awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels bad because it's a Dora is the main problem.
Yeah, so I guess you're just hoping, can I try to pair it up? Or maybe force the Itsu?
It could if we get the right draws.
Yeah, there's a high chance, I feel like there's a high chance though that it might get something like Tanyao and you're forced to drop the 9 show at some point.
I mean, no one's really dropping Sozu at the moment, so on the
It
one
does make-
hand, it means that the odds that I'm gonna get the tiles I need might be lower because people seem to be hanging on to them.
Yeah, that is true. Huh. Oh, hey, Sanchoku alert on the on Toyman here. Kayla has is Ishanten. There's an upgrade for Sanchoku, but currently this is yes, 678 Sanchoku is possible. Though this is kinda Ishanten. Or 567? I think 678 is a better Sanchoku chance.
Yeah,
Each.
678 I think is the better option if we can get there.
Ooh, Riki from Ricky for 7 so Nomi?
Yeah, 7. So Tanya. Nope. Well, there's a 9. So yeah, Richinomi on the 7.
And, personally, this is the Ricci I like. This is one of the Riccis that I am really reluctant to do just because it's Ricci Nomi and you're weighted right next to the Dora, so I feel like it never comes out.
You're waiting right next to the Dora, and there's like no like Sozu tiles out, like other than like the 1-9. There's 1-9-1-1 out. So people are going to be reluctant to
Boom.
drop Sozu anyway. So it's a I'm hoping to draw the 7. I think at this point,
Yeah, but you can
which
see
there
this.
are still 2 in the wall. So I guess fair enough, right?
That is true, and it also made it so that Kayla here is pretty much half folding now because of it. Not
Yeah,
necessarily, not necessarily full folding, like they remade their hand a bit, but it is a bit weird because of the calls now.
yeah. There's one of the
Ooh.
7s. But then
And
now that helps connect to that Dora, so we're gonna keep that.
that is Tempai if you want to take Tempai for bad weight. That's Furiten.
Yep, that's for 10. So not gonna deal in.
Interesting. You like the Furiten weight there better? I feel like the bad weight, but like dropping 2 so for the 3 so weight, isn't that a good move? I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna end a Ryokokyu. It was late, so I guess yeah, I was gonna say it was late. We were I think just playing for Rikoku either way. I don't think they were worried too much about the weight.
That's fair. I guess 1,500 points is pretty good.
All right, that's okay. What is this?
Again, same thing. Is this a Chi toy? Is this a Honitsu? Is this a Toy toy? Or is this a Tanyao? Tanyao. Yes, every hand is a Tanyao.
Hey, don't underestimate Tanyo. It's that's something I learned real quick. I
Boom.
always thought I was like Tanyo. I mean, everyone's gonna just if I just win 1,000 Tanyo hands, how am I ever gonna win at mahjong? And I quickly changed my tune. I was like, no, Tanya's a great hand,
Exactly.
but so is
So,
Honi too. So
yep. And I will say, this could be a Chinitsu.
all right, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah.
That is Ishanten for Chinitsu.
It's amazing how we drew all the connected tiles too. That really helps.
Sadly, on the left here, Christian kind of ate up all the 2 pins. Like,
There was all the 2 pins are over there. That would have been nice to get the 2.
yeah, because 2 pin gives you the best tempai, I think, for the 4-7 pin.
Yeah. Although I think we'd still be happy if we got a 3 pin here.
I mean, you'd be happy since that 3 pin doesn't give you tempai, does it? I think
It
the
does,
only.
it doesn't give you tempai, but it gives you a lot of options whenever we draw the tile that we need.
Sure, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, I think Kachinitsu needs 4 pin, 7 pin, 2 pin to get tempai. I don't know if
Each.
there's any other tempais. Oh, 9 pin. 9 pin? Oh, 1 pin, 1 pin.
Ooh, the 5. Yeah, I was gonna say 5
Ooh.
is tempai on the 1, but we could always upgrade that.
Okay, time for Chinitsu trainer. What tiles give you what upgrade?
See if we get if we get the last 9, that's an upgrade.
That would give you 3-6.
A
Boom.
3-6. But we're just gonna deal in with the 2 mon.
Oh my gosh, Richi Pinfu Itsu. That's a value at hand.
Yeah.
So we got a Itsu before Sanshoku, huh? Is Itsu more likely or is Sanshoku more likely in general?
I seem to get more Itsu than Sanshoku, but again, I've gotten like 2 Sanshokus, so it feels like I get pretty much anything more than Sanshoku. All right. Well, south 2.
Oh my gosh, that's a Dora bomb if I've seen one.
ポン
Yeah, dealer holding the secret Dora triplet in hand.
Only problem with this hand is I don't think there's a single Yaku you can achieve it than other than Richi.
Right. Richi's the easiest one, which means we need to draw some connector tiles here. I mean, technically you could go I mean, Toy Toy is an option, but
Sure,
not,
I
not as
guess
easy not as easy to draw.
yeah. I will note maybe there's a outside 456
Oh,
Sanshoku.
is that
Oh my gosh.
that's a Tenpai.
Oh yeah,
Two
on the
two
left
mon.
there.
Yeah, Tumon.
Tumon Nomi, but I think that's the easy south pong.
Right.
Question is, after the south pong, oh,
Uh-oh. Oh, we're gonna go Mochi Mochi on the south now, maybe.
what is your drop here?
Namon? Or Naito? 5 so. Okay.
That's
Oh,
the toy toy route.
yeah, we're gonna go the Toy Toy route. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9 so is for the better weights, but if you drop the one of the oh my gosh,
Oh,
immediate backfire.
oh, that feels bad.
Oh my gosh.
1
I'm gonna say,
So we're
do
gonna.
you like the call ability for a possible toy toy, or do you like the good weights for Dramin Dramin?
I think for dealer in that hand, I would have played for the better weight, but
1
we are also in last, so
Yeah,
going for the value. I can't hate going for value too.
and also maybe there might be thoughts that South could come out for Tenpai.
Ooh, 4-mon. Okay, yep. 4-mon weight on the for Ricky now.
Sure.
For Tanyo.
Gosh, as the dealer, oh my gosh, I'm so sad with all. Oh, that probably deals in. Does ooh. Yeah,
Don't.
that deals in.
Yeah, is gonna swap for that weight, which is gonna deal into the just 1,000 points.
1,000, sure.
Problem is it's sell 3, so it feels a little bad because you're trying to get just a few points, at least a few points to get above 30k.
I mean, if you deal
But
into
this hand
uh,
might do it.
so let me ask you. I think a 1,000 deal in makes your EV go up, doesn't it?
I mean that's one way of looking at it, I guess.
EV play, deal into 1,000 hands. Probably doesn't help you in your current position, but
Okay, a lot of interesting hands here. A lot
4
of people.
pairs for the dealer.
Yeah, 4 pairs for the dealer, but it's like, do I really want this to be a cheat toy, or do I just want to call the
Pump.
white and the black and go for toy toy?
White and black.
I mean, white and south, white and south.
Black Dragon, I
Boom.
reserved that one.
Yep, and is gonna call the white and the south. So now do we take? Yeah, again, do we take the better weight or do we go for toy toy here?
There was a funny option of dropping 3 so for a possible Honitsu.
Oh, that's true. It could be Honitsu as well.
But yeah, I think dropping Green Dragon there is the efficiency play, which as dealer, that's totally correct. But
Yeah, we still have the option to go for toy toy or just a good weight, a good
Con.
final weight.
no reason not to count that, right?
Ooh, yeah, con doesn't help.
Doesn't help, but it does make the field a bit more scared about you, I guess.
It could make people think that you're already in Tenpai and they're gonna have to be more careful.
Ooh,
Ooh, good feeling there. Not
still,
quite Tenpai.
yeah,
Needs a little
still
bit of
too
work.
Shanten.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of work. Ooh, the 1. Okay.
That is Tenpai. Now, you usually will take Tenpai on the 4 pin, but what if you cheat 4 pin and go for a Tanki for the Honitsu upgrade?
Yeah, I was to say that's
Ooh, how about break?
do we go for it?
Oh, just change of weight. Sure. I think, though, is that better?
I don't. No, not really. In fact, I think on known information that's worse because you didn't see any fours and you saw 1-6. So
1、
based off of known information, that's worse.
Ooh, funny Ricci. One pin east. That
4、
is.
Oh, but the 6 comes
Oh,
out. Never mind.
that was the big brain move. You go on the one out weight so that you bait the Ricci out so that you can win.
Yeah, the Ricci player had already dropped a 6, so
Exactly. It's gotta be safe, right?
It's funny you think that in game and then it like never happens and you're like, come on, that was like the big brain play. Why didn't that work? And then you play another game and you don't notice it and you're like, well, who thinks like that? Like, come on. Who thinks that I'm gonna save this weight on the tile that the Ricci player is already discarded so that it's more likely to come out. Especially when that player isn't even Ricci yet. But dealer now only 1,000 points away from getting above 30,000.
Now, this is an interesting situation for Kayla. Usually, as last place, you want to go for bigger hands, like what Kayla's doing it. But I'd say there's an argument of trying to go for a fast 1,000 hand to make sure to drop both people over 30k, under 30k. What do you think about that?
That is one option, is just to say I'm gonna just try to drop more people under 30k so that I don't have to pay as much. But when you do win the big hand, it feels really good. So what are we gonna do here? The problem we have now is that there's 3 wests out. So west there's only one less left to draw.
1、
Oh
Oh
no,
no,
what's
wait,
this?
they're all gone. You're
Yeah,
right.
they're just
They're
all
all
gone.
gone. So yeah, Kokoshi, we can't do Kokoshi. So now we gotta decide what we're gonna do instead.
I was gonna say I would want to keep the 444 because that's a good what you call it strong hand. But yeah, now the hand is really awkward. Ooh, dealer going for Dama Tanyao waiting on the Dora.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't reach it yet. They want to
ポン
have a better shot at the door coming out.
Yeah.
The door's locked up
Boom.
tight in hand, so it's not gonna, I don't
Oh.
think it'll be coming out.
But at the end, Christian gets the 2,000 win.
Yep. First place is just gonna take 1,000 points and move the game into all last.
That's a pretty good high five.
Yep, there are a lot of options there. We can earn a few more points.
Yeah.
Try to keep everyone below 30,000.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, this is a funny situation. Yes, you do want people to be under 30k, so you're probably going to be a lot more aggressive just so that you can.
Yeah, whatever we get here, we want a sumo.
Question is, would you Dama or Ricci in this position?
Well, if I'm allowed to Dama, I might Dama for a little bit. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is looking like a Pinfu hand, so we would be allowed to Dama here.
Yep, just problem is 6 blocks.
Yeah, well, again, it just depends on which one we fill in here. Of course, if we get the 6 pin, we could have a possible 3-sided weight.
I mean, that'd be the great draw. Only problem is 6 pin is kinda in everyone else's hand.
Right.
Ooh, Ipeko draw.
Yep, nice Ipeko. We're gonna keep it open. Keep the 3-sided weight chance open by dropping the 3-2.
Interesting. I'm curious, is that better than dropping the 4-5 pin for killing off the overlap?
That could be possible.
Yeah, because usually if this was Akari, you drop 7-8 pin over 4-5 pin, but because it's a Akanashi, there is no red 5, so maybe dropping 4-5 pin to increase win rate might be an option.
It's definitely something to think about. Also, Kayla has an Ipeko across the way there. Just needs one more tile, and we can try to get something going here.
Could have taken that cheap for Tenpai, but I don't think you want to be for an open Tanya no Mi as last place.
No, as last place, we want to draw a tile and Ricci and try to get the most points we can here.
Yep.
So it makes sense. The pass makes sense.
I think everyone here is Ishanten right now.
Yep. That that's not the right tile.
Sure.
That is also not the right tile.
I mean,
Oh.
it does help for a bit of a higher of a Sanshoku chance, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I think you just toss it back in this you're in first. You're just trying to put pressure on the board. I don't think you keep that.
And we see Kayla change their hand to headless with that draw. It's yeah, it's a quite a nice efficiency draw.
Oh, there we go. We drew Tenpai.
Now, do you
Oh,
reach your Dama?
we're gonna Dama.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this late, there's only like 2 or 3 draws left. We're in first. We don't really
Ooh,
care too much if we win this hand. In fact, we may just drop out of Tenpai on the last draw.
maybe, but if you let your Kami get Tenpai, they're going over 30k.
リーチ
Right. It depends on how much you care about that.
I think you have to fold here though. Unless,
Yeah, with the Ricci,
yeah, you can just
we
drop
can
the Genbu.
yeah, we can drop the 2. Yeah.
Yeah, rip Ipeko, but this is still Dama Pinfu.
One more drop. Well, it's
Oh
back.
my gosh!
But do we drop out now? That's the question.
Oh,
Yep.
actually drops out. Oh
Yep.
wow!
It's gonna drop out.
But Ricky's that lets Ricky be over 30k.
Yeah.
So at the end, was that a W or is that an L?
Well, we're gonna lose the extra 5 Uma points. So,
So
but we still get plus 31 out of it. I don't think you're gonna be too upset about that.
I mean, I'm just wondering, is it better to lose the 6.5 points there, or is it better to take Tenpai and hope no one gets a bigger hand at next hand?
Right. Because if we would have stayed, then we would have gotten 1,000 points, and we wouldn't have lost 1,500. So we would have been up 2.5, plus the 5 extra Uma.
Yeah,
So unless somebody gets like a Mongon, I guess that's technically worse. But
yeah. So I guess that's an interesting decision. Like if this was the MJS, if those, well, I mean MJS, it'd be game over already. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. So, is that all for the games today, or do we have any other? Oh, it seems
looks
like that's the end.
yeah, it looks like that's all the games. There's no more starting up. So that'll be our last game. We'll take one last look at the overall standings here.
Yep, seems like after that game, Christian is now 6th place in the league with 39 points. Ricky 9th place with 34 points. Wow, look at that! Look at that difference. 11th place is Eric here with minus 0.1. Hey, that could get the Saki award, right?
Well, we just got to stay there for another how many games is that? 18?
Easy enough.
Yeah.
And Kayla a bit down here at negative 123.8. But hey, I've seen people that like gain like near 100 points in one session.
Well, I mean, A1 like had somebody get like 200 points in like 4 games. So, I mean, it's
Ooh.
definitely possible. You're
Yeah,
not out of it yet. You just had a rough start.
yeah, and yeah, it's not even halfway, so you still have a lot of games to come back.
Just seems to be having problem winning hands at the moment. Only has a 9% win rate. So,
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, how'd you like the games today? I came here a bit late, but I enjoyed the games. How about you?
I only saw a couple more than you did. We went through a couple casters today, but definitely all the games I had were pretty exciting. Yeah, it was a good day to tune in for some mahjong. And make sure, as you can see on the screen here, make sure you tune in. If you want to watch this replay or any of the other replays, go to tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. You can also visit Twitter or X at American Ricci, and our website, AmericanRegi.org, if you want to join our league. It's real easy and not too much of a time commitment, and it's pretty flexible. So welcome players of all skill levels. Come and have fun.
And you can play without Akanashi for people who hate dealing into one Akamangan hands.
All right. Anything else we need to go over before we close the stream? Yeah, next broadcast. Wednesday broadcast. We always have one, but there'll probably also be one either Monday, Tuesday next week. We tend to be able to get to a crew together, so be looking forward to that. In fact, there might even be one on Friday. I know there's quite a few games on Friday, so if we can get a cast going on Friday, we might be able to put one together on Friday. So I think that's going to be all for today. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep, see ya.